You know what I've been dreaming of lately? The purification system in this.
All right, so a couple things. I am actually trying to not get sick at the moment. The wife has been coming down with something, and I am starting to feel it as well. Unlock an exclusive outfit in Arc Raiders by completing a special Raider contract in the finals. I'm not playing the finals. I've heard good things about the finals, but I'm not playing it. I've got enough games. Okay, but while we're waiting for everybody to kind of filter in here, I'm going to just kill a few minutes and check out what is going on with this Arc Raiders update. But this is not something we're doing all night. Don't worry, this is not a gaming stream. The mud butt. Mud butt? Ew, God no. No, this is just like standard head cold kind of stuff, dude. Like, I was feeling fine. A little tired, but, you know, that's normal for me. Hey, how's it going? Just a quiet, peaceful dance. Dude, I recognize the actual, like, profile picture, but the names keep changing on me here. Anyways, so I figured while I was waiting for people to start filtering in here, we'd just check out a quick match of Arc Raiders and see what they've changed, what they've added, kind of how the map looks now. I haven't been on Arc Raiders for a few days. But like I said, this is not a gaming stream. Don't worry, we've got a lot of stuff to go over. I'm just going to quickly jump into a match. Oh yeah, there it is. There it is. There's the ice and snow and shit. Is it only on damn battlegrounds? And there's a matriarch. Oh my god. All right, yeah, we'll grab a free loadout and just jump in here. Yeah, I know it's Tekla. I recognize the profile picture, but I'm just like, that's a hell of a long username. So yeah, we're not doing. Yeah, oh shit, here we go again. We're not doing a game stream. Don't worry. I'm just. I just wanted to see for myself real quick because I haven't had a chance since I got home to actually jump in and take a look at the game. Also, one of those things that I'm gonna try to do tonight, because there's a few topics that I really want to kind of jump in and cover pretty extensively. One of them being the AI thing with Larian. With Divinity, and I'd love to try to maybe clip that part of the live stream into a video for tomorrow, because I don't know how I'm going to be feeling tomorrow. So although I prefer to not do this whole like clipping my live stream for videos, I might try to do that if we can do that like in one shot on the stream tonight, because I'm telling you right now, the way my throat is feeling, the way my body's feeling, I'm pretty damn sure I'm going to be sick tomorrow. I'm already hearing voices, even though I'm by myself. This is not a good sign. Dude, so far, the stream has been going for like 5 minutes, and we've already got 2 kickbots trying to sell me viewers. Where's the cold at? Where's the ice? Where's the snow? What the hell? I was under the impression there was like ice and cold and shit. Well, you know, DB Wild, the thing is, that's not my style. That's not what I want to do. I know that a lot of channels have kind of like rotated that way with like, that's the way Smash JT does all of his videos now for the most part. That's not something I'm really interested in, like altering all of my content for the sake of doing. I just want to be able to have a video out tomorrow covering this whole Larian thing. And if I do get sick, did they make these guys tougher? He should have been dead already. AI for decades in game development, the issues companies like Ubisoft trying to flip AI assets. Exactly, that's my opinion on it. But like I said, we'll get into that extensively in a few minutes here. I'm just gonna kill a few minutes. I could have let the intro play, or I could have hopped on here. So I'm hopping on here for a second. Where the hell did that freaking wasp go? And it's a fitting game given the conversation of AI, right? Because the controversial part of this game is the AI voices that they're using with the consent of the actors. So, nah, Geek, not a gaming stream, not a gaming stream. This is Instead of letting the intro play, I'm just going to do this for a minute. That should be harvestable. Something that's that obvious should be harvestable. But how are you doing, Geek? And yes, DB, I know that that's how a lot of people are going. I feel like the game is running really choppy tonight. I'm thinking it's because I got all my damn browser tabs open in the background. As well as maybe the servers are like getting overloaded. I don't know. Let's see you getting cooked. I actually do pretty decent at this game. I'm usually... my survival rate is not bad. I'm not sure if there's somewhere that you can actually track that or not. But... Hey, Black Cat. Yeah, I'm guessing how you voted on the AI poll. I'm gonna assume you're one of those... just replaced everybody with AI. And to some degree, I actually can sympathize and actually kind of agree with that. I don't want to see AI replace everybody, but I'd rather have AI than the crap we're getting a lot of the times. Will I be able to extract? Yeah, I think my KDR is probably at least plus 1.5, plus 2. I don't struggle on this game, I'll tell you that. Most of the situations where I don't get out alive, it's not because I couldn't, it's because I'm screwing off, doing something stupid, pushing my luck, you know? This company's trying to be lazy and using AI assets. Exactly, yeah. I don't think it's an issue with AI as a tool in general. My opinion is, like I said, with the poll that I put up there, I'm more of the, it depends on how it's used. I don't even care if it's used heavily or seldom. I just want to make sure that if it's being used, it's used in a constructive way that's not replacing actual effort. And I know the name of the channel is Minimal Effort, but when it comes to developing a game, I've seen a lot of times with AI slop what low effort game development looks like, and it's not pretty, guys. It's really not. Anybody, I know if Oblivion was here, I think Oblivion was one of the only ones I can remember from the Sancticide stream, actually watching me play that game. Sancticide is one of those AI garbage games that just kind of shows the worst of what you can get with AI. Sometimes when it feels empty is when suddenly someone shows up and kills you. Yeah, but I use a lot of free loadouts. And even if I use a loadout that isn't free, I don't care. This game has the perfect blend of... There's some high stakes, you know, high risk, high reward situations, but it's never so brutally painful that you can't come back from it, you know? Just want better games. Larian did say they use that as a supportive tool to help the creative process. Right. Dude, I've got a hell of a lot of, like, tweets and stuff pulled up about it. We'll get into all that. As tools get better, it's going to cause damage to the industry. Yeah. Well, somebody's here.
Don't shoot.
Where's homeboy at? Water purifier, nope.
No.
No, there better be some wires in here. I need to replace my freaking shield recharger. Oh, come on, no wires. Every Ubisoft game is a copy of another Ubisoft game, just happens to have a different IP. Yeah. Yeah, surprisingly friendly, although I don't know if that article that came out recently is true or not, guys, where they said that they're going to put you in lobbies with people who play the same way as you. I was worried if that they do, that I would be like completely screwed, because I have a tendency to be super aggressive. Or at least I get paired up with people who are aggressive, and then we basically react accordingly. No wires, huh? I can make plenty of bandages, that's not the problem. So, when does the... Hey, Geek, do you know when the snow was supposed to get here? Like, the update already happened. I saw on Damn Battlegrounds here that it's supposed to have snow at some point, but where is the snow? Depends on the mood. It depends on the mood, it depends on the map. I have noticed that there are a lot of maps where it is heavily dependent on which map you're on. I don't know if I need processors or I don't think I need either one of these. We already have snow in Tarkov. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, but you've also got a shitload of hackers and a broken mess of a game. Look, I love Tarkov for what it is and what it could have been, and for those who are really, really good at it, it is entertaining to watch, like, the big streamers play it and all that. Tarkov has a lot of things that no other game would be able to accomplish. But unfortunately, the game... I mean, how long has it been in beta? 7 years now or something? Well, Geek, the update... I already downloaded the update. Damn Battlegrounds, the map said, when I picked the map, it showed snow on the map. So I don't know if it's a timed thing, if it's like you have to be on the map for a certain amount of time before the snow actually shows up. I don't know. Alright, found plenty of those, but I need my freaking wires. Coworker came into the office to complain about the higher-ups under pulling a Christmasification boss on us and skipping bonuses this year. Oof. Only people who complain is broken are people with under 100 hours. Well, okay. And that is the thing. When it comes down to it, Arc Raiders is casual versus Tarkov that's not. And it's fine to have games that are not for casuals. That's where I said, Tarkov is a game that's awesome to watch somebody who's really good at it play. You have to choose it. It's rotation like the other crap. Oh. Crap. So it's like the electro static crap. Like the husks and crap. Oh, well then let's just get the hell out of here. We're not going to see anything new. Alright, we'll just go there.
Head home at the central swamp lift.
Yeah, it's on the map selection screen. I thought it was all versions of the same... you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, snowflake symbol. It's like the storms and whatnot, or the extra, like the nighttime mode. Yeah. I think we can make it. Yeah, we're fine. All right, I'm just gonna extract then, and we'll get going on the stream here. I'll waste my time looking at that later. God knows if I do get sick, I'm gonna have to just be home for a day or two. I do have to go to work tomorrow regardless because I have like 4 voicemails I have to return. And I didn't bring the information home with me, and if it's stuff people want shipped before Christmas, I have to get that done tomorrow. Because I think tomorrow's the cutoff day. Not as wide as an ocean, but shallow as a lake at some games. I have close to 2,000 hours played. Oh no, Wise Ass Duck, I played a lot. I don't know where the hour tracker is on Tarkov. There was one wipe, one season, I guess you could call it, where I did play a hell of a lot on Tarkov. I mean, I wasn't like no-lifing it, I wasn't professional. I think I was at like level 25 or 30 by the time I was done playing it for that wipe. Problem is, I didn't have any friends that played it. I was solo. And playing it solo is not a whole lot of fun if you're still getting your feet wet. I don't think he can see me. He's gonna spot me. And I don't have enough ammo to kill that damn guy. God, I hate the Hornets. Dudes are such a pain in the ass. Saying the snow affects visibility. I mean, I can check it out real quick, don't get me wrong. There's no more wipes unless you prestige in PvP. And on PvE, you only had to wipe for 1.0. They plan to add something to PvE for the prestige perks of PvP. Oh wait, so they're getting rid of mandatory wipes on Tarkov now that the game is in full access? I didn't know that. See, I had no idea. I legit haven't touched Tarkov for a couple years now. So, yeah, I didn't even know that. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about the fact that when they decided to go into full access and they've got the game on Steam now, I kind of wish they'd given people the option to migrate their account to Steam instead of having the secondary launcher. That would have been a lot of fun. But it is what it is. Only wipes that will happen going forward is when they add seasonal characters later on. Okay. Level 41, I'm still 14. Level 41's not that high, dude. There are people that are already maxed out their character. I've played this for probably like 50 hours or something. I don't know. No, I'm not gonna bother checking out the snow map, guys. We'll get covering some of the topics that I have. Otherwise, it's gonna be like a friggin' 4-hour stream. I'm just gonna exit out of here. All right, let me go ahead and get this brought up here. Oh, I forgot I switched side that the chat was on because of the cat last time. Hang on, put this over here. Hide some of the mess behind me. I did order. After 6 years of having the same computer case, I did order a new case because I want to have a little bit better cable management and just a cleaner looking case. My case is covered in stickers because my kids started doing that after I put a couple on there. They threw a couple on there and it's like, it's hideous. It's terrifying. I'm going to pull the panel off and maybe put it like with my knickknacks and souvenirs and memorabilia and shit. Because it's the sticker case. It's my first PC build, but I'm ready to put my shit into a better looking case. I don't have a lot of time. I feel you there, but dude, honestly, for me, it's one of those things where if I have an hour and a half at night or less, I'll just hop in and do like 3 or 4 raids. That's why I'm constantly using the free loadouts because I don't really want to be like, okay, I have to select this. I'm just like, no, screw it. Free loadout, go into the mode, go into the match, and if there's anything that I bring back that's worth anything, I'll throw it in my stash, sell the rest, and just rinse and repeat. And the thing is, there have been people complaining about the free loadouts on Arc Raiders because there's no like timed. It's not like on Tarkov where you have a timer where you can only be a scav for so many times within the hour. With Arc Raiders, everyone's like, well, you can't keep doing these free loadouts back to back to back. That's not fair. And it's like, but your loadouts are shit half the time. So if you run into somebody else who's got max level weapons and, heavy shields and stuff, you're going to get destroyed. Like, you're going to get completely obliterated. So people who are acting like, the free loadouts are a problem on Arc Raiders, I'm like, you guys are trying to get them to ruin the game because the game has been out for 2 months, wildly successful. I have very few complaints about it at all. And you have people online who are like, oh, they need to change this. They need to change. I'm like, just shut up. Just enjoy the game for right now because you guys are going to ruin it. Fanboys on my Twitter are so funny. Nintendo saying E33 is dead because of AI, and Sony ponies saying no one cares about them using AI. Oh, man. Yeah, the console wars just make everything more retarded. Can we all agree on that? I think that's just reality. Even people who enjoy getting into the console wars, they rot your brain, Yeah, your scav rep means everything. Higher your scav rep, better your scav gear, much more perks at max rep. Yeah, I almost don't really want them to do that on Arc Raiders. I kind of want them to do their own thing and not try to like pick and choose parts of other games to throw in there. All right, so let's see here. How to survive the cold. This is from Rooster, big fan account of Arc Raiders. You get shelter the moment you leave any sheltered building. You've got 90 seconds till you start taking damage. It's funny. No, the console wars are like a train wreck. It's kind of like you can't stop looking at it. But yeah, I don't care anymore. Walls are unimportant. Roof cover is all as long as you get into cover that blocks the snow from landing on you. Interesting. Being close to fire doesn't help. Throwing a fireball burner and standing close to the fire doesn't warm you up. I don't have a problem with that. That would make it more confusing, I think. But Nintendo isn't dead because of copy and paste, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's one of those things. It's like Nintendo's been copying their own games for how many years now? And to be fair, I don't mind. Like, if you have a formula that works and an IP people care about, why don't fix what's not broken, obviously. But that being said, being on fire does help. If you're far from cover and taking damage from the cold, throwing a fireball burner and rolling through the flames will reset your timer. Interesting. Flamethrower works. Teaming with a flamethrower supposedly can keep you warm without hurting you. Oh yeah, because there's no friendly fire in the game. This is going to be fun to see. Like, I wish I had picked the snow map and realized that it was this different like game mode, but whatever, it's fine. Don't worry, according to Nintendo Drones, Nintendo both is the most successful company while at the same time the most persecuted. Oh my god, yeah. That's the truth right there. All right. So, I've been seeing this one shared around a lot, and I just felt like I had to share with you guys. I don't know if you have seen this going around. there's this newscaster, and I feel like there's been a meme of her and another gal that both gained weight over the last few years that's been going around for a couple of years now. But this shit is too funny not to share. So this is Carissa Codell. She's a news anchor. I think she's in Kentucky. And she does this where she reads viewers from her comments from her viewers in her news voice. So hang on, let me just go ahead and play this.
Oh, Carissa, concrete is thicker than a prison. Don't laugh. I'm sorry. Oh, Carissa, concrete is thicker than a prison wall. The Ford F-150 of woman. Built Ford tough.
Oh, she's a great sport. I love it.
Godzilla and King Kong back there scrapping. And what's going on back there is none of my business.
It's been a while since people seen something like this.
Arms don't lie.
No, it's funny. I've seen gym pictures of this woman. She's got that fit fat thing going on. She's got muscle, but she's got her muscle covered in like an insulating layer of fat. It's really confusing.
I'm having a good time, you know. The hog is having a good time. Witnesses do say arms don't lie and hashtag certified hog, and we do
I'm not gonna lie. The first time I saw this, when they pulled up the Peppa Pig picture, I was dying.
Oh, Carissa.
Muscle covered in fat can relate. I think a lot of people can. Let's see. There was a longer one, I think, here. Oh, no, 42 seconds. Mean bastard says she walks in and my brain forgets its job. I will admit, you know, I don't mind her physical appearance. I was telling my wife, I was talking about her, I'm like, this gal could probably lose like 10, 15 pounds, and if she replaces that with like muscle, she'd be set.
He is kinda hefty. Hefty, hefty, hefty. I like rotund. That's a good descriptive word. Like someone had the thesaurus out. Damn,
Muscle
she
mommies.
was rotund, mommy. And on the subject of mommies, she would make a great single mother.
Ouch.
I'm Carissa Codell. I was made to have salon quality hair and read the news.
Smells like rich mahogany in here.
Going to get a citation for parking that dump truck on the sidewalk. I got a CDL, baby. Every time that I back up, it does beep.
Yeah, so I mean, good sport. I do love to see this because this is actually pretty funny. They always say women can't be funny. I'm gonna need a game full of women like her. Black Cat, I would not mind. And I know some people are gonna go, she's fat, she's too thick. I'm like, yeah, she could probably shave off a few pounds, but honestly, would you rather that or Ariana Grande? I don't even think it's a competition at this point. Oh yeah, here you go. This person here says, this is that Valkyrie build that gives you Heisman winning sons and volleyball daughters who break noses every single match. Yeah, you know, like I said, she could probably shave off a couple of pounds, but in general, I think she's doing okay. And it's pretty great that she actually has a sense of humor about it. All right, so I'm not sure if any of you guys saw this yet. Team Cherry did their holiday sign-off. Then they said Hollow Knight Silksong, Sea of Sorrow, revealed the original Hollow Knight refreshed and more in their blog post. They revealed that they're already doing an expansion. I think it's a free expansion for Silksong. And then I didn't see what the changes were for the original Hollow Knight. They said, hey everyone, with Hollow Knight Silksong's launch year coming to a close, we want to take a moment and share a peek at what we've been working on, what's available now, what's coming in 2026. Firstly, I want to say a huge thank you. Staggering numbers of players. I mean, they did phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal with this game. So, new areas, bosses, tools, and more. Hornet's adventures continue in our nautically themed expansion coming free for all players next year. We'll keep further details a secret for now, but expect additional info. Dude, freaking free DLC, okay? The other indie devs are going to completely freak out, right? They're going to be like, you can't give away free DLC. We can't afford to do that. It's like, come on, guys. The whole reaction from all the indie devs that were pissed off that these guys dropped Silksong for $20, like a complete shadow drop, and then they all melted down. I'm like, you guys, I still didn't finish Hollow Knight. I always get lost. It's an exploration game. Just explore. I got no time for that. Geek, I feel like you and I are compatriots there. I feel like we're kindred spirits. Hook, what's up, buddy? Total truth, she's built like most of the gals I've been with over the years. My type, maybe. Oh, nothing wrong with that. I'm not kidding. I swear to God, if you compare someone like that news anchor to like the Ariana Grande thing, it's like, guys, it's not even close, the comparison. Thought indie was about freedom. What's with this crab in the bucket mentality? 100%. Yeah. Dude, the reaction to Silk Song was really eye-opening. It's like, I thought indie devs were supposed to be like understanding that it takes competition and passion and drive to to achieve something, right? Something that the AAA industry has been lacking. And the minute that these guys who've been working for 10 years on Silk Song, making it as good as they possibly could, dropped it, they're like, but you guys, you can't, that's not fair. Let's see here. It says, alongside Silk Song's continued development, we haven't forgotten about its sibling, and today we're excited to announce that we're hard at work on an updated version of Hollow Knight. The Switch 2 edition. Okay, I don't care about that. I don't want to be mean, but if it's the Switch 2 version, I couldn't care less. Whatever. Hey, good morning, Avernum. AAA has to fight indie like it's not 1% the size. That's the crazy part, man. That is the craziest part. Is that when you compare the two, AAA should be able to knock indie out of the water, but they can't. I wonder how many more No Man's Sky expansions we'll get before their next game finally comes out. Dude, you're not even kidding. That shit is insane. Like, I wish that I had the time and the inclination to play No Man's Sky, because think about it, like everyone talks about how Phantom Liberty redeemed Cyberpunk's like horrific launch. I think No Man's Sky is a far cooler, more impactful redemption story than Cyberpunk. I don't know. Maybe they're equivalent, but I think No Man's Sky has outdone themselves. Nintendo's cooked, yeah. Oh, man. Not the size that matters, but how it's used. Also, Kindred Spirits there, Avernum. Played it off and on, but No Man's Sky has so much bloat, it's hard to ever come back to it. Bloat as in file size, or bloat as in just so much going on that it's hard to just come back and jump into it? Because I can understand that if it's just like overwhelmingly large as far as the game goes. Black Cat says I've got 500 hours on No Man's Sky and haven't even begun to delve into it. Holy crap. They need to respond by saying, we'll make our games the way we make them and you make yours the way you do. Dude, for real. For real. Bloat of so much, yeah. Here's a fun one. I was going to make a Tomb Raider video talking about the new Lara Croft design, like we covered on the stream after the Game Awards. To be honest, as somebody who has zero interest or use for the entire Tomb Raider franchise other than as something to discuss, I just didn't feel like making a video about it. I just don't care. I mean, I want Lara Croft fans to be happy. I want Tomb Raider fans to be happy. I want the character to be faithful to the original design. Yada, yada, yada. All those things, right? But at this point, it's word service or lip service, because I'm not going to play Tomb Raider. I didn't grow up playing Tomb Raider. I don't personally have that much invested in the franchise. Nude patch makes it better. But does the nude patch also have more jiggle? Hey, Cage, Drunk Vampire is here. Hours in No Man's Sky is crazy. Over 1,000 on the PS4 and PS5 version. Coming up on over... Dude, you've got over 1,500 combined across PS5 and 4 and or PC, I guess. I don't know what you have it on Epic or whatnot, but holy shit, that's crazy. Acrobatic Raider, wild stuff. Oh my god. Oh my god. But here you go. Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis difficulty will be adjusted for modern player tastes. Now, I was skeptical that this article meant what it said, and I was like, well, maybe that means that they're going to make it harder, right? Because there's a lot of Souls-like fans. And then all it took was me to scroll in to the first sentence. And it says, Crystal Dynamics has revealed that Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis will receive a difficulty adjustment for modern players, and players might remember the original version as extremely difficult. During a presentation attended by Games Radar Plus, Crystal Dynamics developer Will Kerslake, I have no idea how to pronounce that, was asked how they would be targeting the difficulty of Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis, given all the insta-death situations and other problems players faced in the original title. He replied, stating that part of reimagining a game right is adjusting that game evolving for modern player tastes. Doesn't mean the core Tomb Raider experience will change, as there are puzzles in combat and traversal and death-defying action. No, it does. I mean, come on, guys. They're gonna make the game easier. I swear to God. Why do they always do this? Why? Why do they do this? Why is it always the same shit over and over and over again every single time? I don't understand. Yeah, tourists, journalists, and retards. I just think the new Lara is missing that calculating look, Vixen. Look in her eyes. That's what kills the new character. Black Cat, I 1,000% have zero issue with Lara Croft in the new game reveal. The way she looks, if I was just talking about a female character, generic, like insert a female character into any video game, I think Lara Croft looks perfectly fine. She's cute. She has a nice figure. It doesn't seem like they've tried to like give her a flat chest. They don't like shy away from the fact that she's got hips. All those things are great. But like I was saying, when Empress was here on the last stream and she was pushing back a lot, I'm like, she just doesn't remind me of Lara Croft. I don't see it. There's no, I don't know if it's because we all had this idea in our heads of the old pixelated, version with the triangle boobs, or even the versions who came after that still had a similar face, even though the body wasn't quite so ridiculous looking. It just doesn't come across the same way. And again, I don't really care that much. I'm not that invested in it because I'm not going to play Tomb Raider. I never have, never will, and no shade. I just never got into the games as a franchise. But I don't know. Better than whatever they did on Netflix? Yeah. Still don't get how some people say this game looks visually good. It just seems like they threw a bucket of colors at random. Are we talking about modern? Modern. Are we talking about Marathon? Or are we talking about Tomb Raider? Exotic teenage alien apprentice meme from Star Wars. That sounds familiar. I'm not sure which meme that is. I mean, a lot of young gamers, 17 to 22-year-olds, and they're hardcore gamers. They love hard difficulty games, so this whole modern players idea is BS to pander to activist journalists. Yeah, Geek, I 100% agree with that. I think that is pretty much the only people, that and women, can we be honest for a second? The people in general, when they talk about, oh, well, there's, 50% of gamers are women, and then they want to complain about the difficulty of games or toxic masculinity or the male gaze and all that kind of shit. They're talking about the women, the activists, and the women. If they did stylized art for these new TR games, I would prefer off the wall body proportions for Lara, but since this is hyper-realism style, I think this Lara looks... But see, that was what I was saying the last time, DB. I don't think, that the hyper-realism looks good with Tomb Raider as a franchise. But at some point, if they're going to continue to... if the graphics and the gameplay are going to continue to evolve like all games do, most games that started off as 2D are now 3D with, ray tracing and all that wonderful stuff. So, to be fair, the character's been through the ringer the last couple of years. We even had Larry Croft in that show. I don't know what she should look like at this point. Okay, but Avernum, isn't that the thing, though? Like, isn't that kind of the point? They've beaten women with the ugly stick so much in the past few years that now we don't even know what a sexy woman necessarily should look like or be portrayed as. I mean, that's kind of the point, I think. She better be oozing British imperialism and not be culturally conscious archaeologist who gives back to all nations. Tekla, there was something, I should have saved the thread because there was a guy who went through piece by piece. People are like, well, she was always about saving and preserving relics and artifacts. And someone went through all the game's storylines and he's like, that's bullshit. She was selfish. She was impulsive. She had no regret for going and stealing. And it was all about getting paid and just getting done and getting her shit and getting out, right? So did a lot of etching back in the day with Jolie. Hey, Susano. I've been in, I confirm it's much more than 50% of Sims 4 players are women. Yeah, no, wise ass, I can 100% agree with you there. I am sure that the majority of players for the Sims games are women or women, Seeing how chicks goon for Leon Kennedy, though. Capcom even said their female employees put a lot of input into Leon's appearance. Right, I saw that. I 1,000% saw that. And I'm like, isn't it funny that they're allowed to be like, simping for Leon, but the male gaze is bad, right? That's always the way it goes. Female gaze is okay, because men can't. They say that you can't be racist towards white people. Men can't be sexually objectified or sexually harassed or sexually assaulted. Basically, if you're a man or a white, you're screwed. You have zero rights. You have no defense. You're always the aggressor. You're never the victim. That's kind of how it goes. Me and a friend got a game borrowed from her. It was The Sims. Oh my god. Yeah, there you go. I tried playing The Sims. Whatever version was on the GameCube. I think it might have been The Sims 2. I played it for like an hour. My character, I've told this story before. She came home from work. She burned her dinner. She peed on the floor because she couldn't get to the bathroom in time. Her garbage didn't go out. She was depressed. She was lonely. She was crying. And then she went to sleep. And I'm like, this is depressing. I stopped playing the game. This is why all these people are on antidepressants. It's because they all played The Sims as children. That's got to be what it is. All right. So let's talk about Marathon, because I did do a video on this, but I haven't actually... oh God. Quag, let me take a look here. Yes! Yes! Oh my god, did I ever tell you about Ahsoka Tano? Oh my god. Yes, I have seen this. I died the first time I saw that. Holy shit. Yeah, that was pretty hilarious. They hide all the nose ring purple hair devs in that new Marathon video, but we know they're there. Yeah. So, I didn't watch the 25, 30 minute how we fixed Marathon video, right? But they put this out there. And then, of course, the memes to come out of this, plus, High Guard and Concord. This is probably one of my favorite memes. I know Quillpig shared it on Discord earlier, but I'd already seen this floating around Twitter. So again, you have that whole, what game starts off with the first two, images are like high def, wonderful, amazing, and the third one looks like a retard 5-year-old drew it, right? Well, this one has all three of these are shit. This is a very, very, I think, fitting one. But then you have guys like this Viva La Doctor saying, I have close to 200 hours in the Marathon playtest since April, and those are low numbers compared to others. This game won't die in a month. I have utter confidence. This will be Bungie's next Destiny or Halo. Well, okay. Do we even need to talk about the state of Destiny or Halo at this point? Like, think about it, guys. Think about it. Two games that both had amazing, incredible beginnings and are utter dog shit at this point. Like, are there two other franchises that have fallen off as hard as Destiny and Halo? Maybe Star Wars as a whole, but I'm talking about, like, ones that are just video game franchises, right? We grow. Hey, Truth. YouTube ate your comment because I was typed something racist towards white people. Oh, man. Yeah, how we fixed Concord 2. You played The Sims as a kid back in 2001. Perfectly fine. In fact, it taught me that going to work every day is needed to be able to order pizza at an early age. Fair enough, Aaron. Fair enough. But it's the ones, I think, who never realized that that's what it was going to take that maybe are on the SSRIs or whatever now. Marathon's destiny is to wear a halo. Yeah. And that's the crazy thing, Black Cat. I was thinking about it because I was watching a video from Atreus, and he was talking about how his favorite genre of games is Souls games. And I was thinking about it, I'm like, if you based it off the games I've played the most, I would never tell you my favorite types of games are first-person shooters. But then I stop and think about it, and I go, the most hours I have probably spent in the last 3 years playing games is first-person shooters. And I think part of that is my situation where it's just easier to jump in and out of a first-person shooter than it is a in-depth RPG, right? That's just kind of common sense. So whether or not it's because of convenience or because it's just what I'm naturally geared to play, first-person shooters tend to be what I play the most of. I have zero interest in Marathon at all. Like none. As little interest as I have in High Guard. No skin on the game? Yeah. You mean a girl who played League, avoid at all costs? Yeah, I would say those are the ones who are not really, they're either women or insane. Destiny and Halo have lore. Marathon's just a theater kids pitch to Netflix. Although, dude, Marathon apparently has lore. If you go back to the original game, which I never played because it was on Mac, I think, right? They were infringing people's copyrights? Yeah. They were stealing artwork and all that good shit. Dude, Hey, Vernum, that is the biggest issue. Well, they were looking at it because they were supposed to come out originally within a month of Arc Raiders. Then they postponed. Arc Raiders came out sandwiched in between Battlefield 6 and Black Ops 7. And although Battlefield 6, I think, is still doing okay as far as like sales, numbers, all that, decently well received game. Arc Raiders is eating both their lunch. Arc Raiders just hit 8 million, like close to 8 million copies sold at this point now, and it's only going to keep climbing. And their concurrent player base beats the pants off of both those other games. Marathon's code was in Halo. Was very different than whatever this is, right? Her handle's Empress of Pain. Dude, what is with them chicks named Empress? I remember, okay, so back when I was a late teenager, Halo 2, Xbox Live, my only friend that I played with consistently on Halo 2 multiplayer was some chick named Empress of something. And my God, that chick, she had this southern accent and she could talk shit like it was nobody's business. And she was pretty cool. And then we just stopped playing. I stopped playing the game as much because I worked so much. But yeah, she was Empress something. Empress of, I can't remember what it was. It was something similar to Empress of Pain. It's funny that you said that because it reminds me like, oh my God, Empress of Darkness or something was her name. But yeah, this thick southern accent, it was pretty awesome. I'm looking at fan art cosplay. A lot of Lara was those eyes of hers. Yeah, for real. Easy to piss them off enough to leave the game, unless they're really, really good and then they destroy you. So there's this video, The Vision of Marathon. This is the Bungie Vidoc, visual documentary, I guess. I don't know what the point of Vidoc is. 23 minutes long. Then I saw that there was another YouTuber that put a video together, only 13 minutes, says Bungie changed Marathon forever. This is from Kevin Cool. I figure I'm just going to watch this dude's video because I have no interest in seeing what, Bungie is putting out there as how they're going to fix this game. But if somebody else who actually has, vested interest in it seems to think it's worth playing at this point, I'm going to let this guy talk for 13 minutes and see what he says about it. But personally, I don't think it's going to make a difference for me because, like I said, this game, I'm not interested. I have less than no interest at all. But the thing is truth, and I think Wise Ass Duck will agree with me on this one. Arc Raiders was never going to filter Tarkov's core player base away because although they're both extraction shooters, they just don't have, I don't think they have that much crossover because one of them is much more hardcore than the other. And so Arc Raiders is going to appeal to people who like to play casually, right? Whereas Tarkov is much more of a sweaty, gritty streamer game or people who want to no-life it. It is much more of like an elitist type game, I think, at least in my personal opinion. So that's just kind of the way I view it.
Marathon is back, and it's looking like this game might actually have a chance. Bungie just released a 20-plus...
I don't want to judge the video before we watch it, but right there off the bat, I want to be like, yeah, no, I'm out. I mean, just saying right off the bat, it's like the game has a chance. I'm like, maybe he's just trying to be gracious, or I don't know. I just personally, I don't see it, but I don't know. We'll see.
Plus minute-long Vidoc break down everything they changed about the game. Talking about the additions of ProcShep, solo queue option, a runner called the Rook, which allows players to spawn in mid-match with a very limited loadout. So you can...
Okay, do y'all remember Dragon Age Velguard? Didn't they call your character Rook? Like, this game is making every mistake they could possibly make. And I get it. The Rook has existed for a long time. Chessboard has a Rook. It's one of my favorite pieces on the chessboard. But, like, people are going to remember, why have I heard that name before recently? And they're going to go, oh, that's right, your character on Veilguard was Rook. Like, come on, man. Just don't use the same word. You pick a different name, something. Oh, my God. At this point, Marathon used to be really good to pull people from Arc Raiders. It won't be enough. No. She was vicious like the rabbit from Monty Python. Oh, God, I love that movie. I love that movie. Is this guy the one who shot on Arc Raiders? I'd have to go through his video. Somebody, if you want, like I said, his name was, let me go back here. Kevin Cool. He's got 42,000 subs. So I have no idea. I've never come across his stuff before. But yeah, you could tell me if he's been shitting on arc raiders, because that would make total sense.
You can jump in, scavenge what's left over, and hop right back out. Players spawning in mid-match is definitely going to help out with the pacing in late game as well. Dead runners drop a corpse now, and it decays over time. And Bungie has completely overhauled the graphics, saying that they're doubling down on the dark, gritty, and grounded sci-fi world, which the original Marathon games and universe captured so well. Just compare the look of Perimeter.
I don't get it. If this is video footage from this Vidoc that they released, saying that this is the reworked graphics and it's dark and gritty, are you guys seeing dark and gritty? Because I'm not getting a dark and gritty vibe. I'm just not.
From the alpha to the beta, it's like it's not even the same game. And remember that end game map of the Marathon ship that they just never showed to only tell us about? Well, they actually finally showed the first zone of the UASC Marathon, and it's called Cryo Archive, saying that this ship will play out much like a heist with 7 different vaults, and you'll need...
You know, DB, I had somebody in an angry comment last year say I had a gay voice. Nobody's ever said that about me. So, I'm smelling shill. Yeah. Don't get why they decided to make this game instead of making the original first to reestablish the franchise. Well, wasn't the first one like a... like an old classic Doom type like shooter horror game or something?
To bring in your best gear just to survive. And they showcase more weapons, mods, factions, skill trees to those factions, a codex that will help review audio logs and deepen the environmental storytelling. But the biggest question is, when will this game release and how much will it cost?
Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. You guys might be onto something. I'm saying nothing more. Nothing more. Calling the one map, swamp map, sufficient to make the whole game dark and gritty. I'm calling BS. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's, oh my god, Hook. I swear to God, I knew nothing about this guy. I did not watch this video yet. I'm like, okay. I played it for a second. I'm like, okay, he has knowledge about the game. I will just play his video, right? Oh, God.
Bungie confirmed that Marathon will cost the same as Arc Raiders at $40 and is releasing in March of 2026. I will say that this like reveal of Marathon did it really well. Like the game looks phenomenal now. The gameplay changes that people wanted actually were taken into consideration.
Okay, so here's the other thing, guys. I don't know if you guys were aware of this. Where is she at? God, she just slipped right by. How do you do the thing where you...
Marathon did it really well. Like the game looks phenomenal now. The gameplay changes that people...
Julia Nar, creative director, she, her. Okay. I didn't realize that this game's creative director was a woman. In all of this, in covering the flamboyantly gay producer who actually somehow IP blocked me from Blue Sky, even though I never showed my account. I don't know how the hell that guy figured that out. He must have traced it back through my IP or something. I don't know. But, yeah. Juliet Nar... My kids have been doing that too. I guess that's how y'all say no in Aussie is nar. My kids have been walking around the house going nar, 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 plus the pronouns. Yeah, for me personally, she doesn't look like a freak. Woman, that's a red flag. And I hate to say that because I think there are women who can definitely work in video game development and be just fine and be competent. Not many of them, but they do exist. The issue I have, the way the game has already been presented, the way the whole story has gone with all the mess behind the scenes, and now you've got the pronouns, you know, nar.
Wanted, actually were taken into consideration. I know a lot of people out there are looking for a PvE mode, and I just don't think you're
Cheap
going to
wine
get
in
it
bulk,
with Marathon.
boxed
Probably
wine,
ever.
100%.
Extraction shooters are pretty much always PvE, VP type of game modes. There's never really a dedicated PvE mode, and if there is, it's rarely played. But the three biggest changes of having proc chat, solo queue, and also the Rook, which is like a scavenger type of character.
Oh wait, did they say that Marathon's going to have a PvE only mode now? That's going to be how they try to compete with Arc Raiders. They're going to be like, no, see, our game, you don't have to play against players. You can be PvE. And it's like, nah, dog, that's just not enough. The fraction of a % of people who play Arc Raiders who are bitching about PvE or PvP in the game is like minuscule. All right, the PvP in Arc Raiders is not that intense.
You can spawn in for basically for free, it sounds like. It's going to be a massive change to the solo queue experience, because that's something that was very just not good. There really isn't just a better way to phrase that. It's just the solo queue experience of playing Marathon was just not good.
I mean, okay, if we're going to call this guy a shill, let's give him his dues. All right, let's take a look. What does he have behind him? You've got Halo 3 poster. I was a bigger fan of Halo 2. I think Halo 3, although it did help to like finish off the Master Chief trilogy, I liked Halo 2 better, but that's just recency bias. I grew up playing Halo 2. You got Fallout 4. I'm not a Fallout guy, but I know Fallout 4 is one that people actually like. Tainted Grail, one of those sleeper RPGs. But then you got like all your Destiny crap here. Was this from Gears of War over here with the chain blade thing? I'm not sure what this is. Then you got freaking Avatar here. Nobody played the Avatar game. Like, legit, nobody's playing the Avatar game. I don't know. A dildo.
Marathon was just not good. Being forced into teams of threes. And
Fallout 4 was dog water. So which one is it then? Was it New Vegas or... Which one? I thought people liked Fallout 4. I thought it was between 4 and New Vegas that people were like, okay, one of these is like the greatest Fallout.
Especially if you're playing against a coordinated group of players, like you really.
New Vegas. I know New Vegas is good. Everyone talks about New Vegas being amazing.
Pacing works within extraction shooters. You do have a chance to kind of talk back and forth between people. We've seen it actually right now in Arc Raiders with this prox chat that people will just hop in just to be friendly. They'll heal other players, give other
The
players
normies
loot,
love New
and
Vegas.
just help out new players as well. Where in Marathon, you didn't have that experience at all. Everyone that you saw that was not on your team was instantly considered a threat. We're now adding in prox chat. It adds in more variability, so it's not the same exact experience every single time you get into an engagement, which is crucial for a game like Marathon. And having the Rook as a playable runner for you to jump in, just kind of go in mid-match and pick up what's ever left. Really great for like a low-level kind of entry to get into a match, so if you don't want to lose anything, but you still want to play a little bit.
Look, here's the thing. I already said earlier when I was checking out Arc Raiders that the free loadout thing, I don't want them to change, because unlike the scav that on Tarkov that has the cooldown timer, the free loadout, you don't really get that big of an advantage. Your gear is shit. You go in, you die, you don't die. It's whatever. And the reality is they don't need to nerf that, change that. It works for Arc Raiders. But he's acting like this Rook thing is some brand new, like, innovative invention that Marathon's creating that hasn't been done before. It's like, guys, this has literally already been done with the Scav in Tarkov, and just recently with Arc Raiders with the free loadout. Like, this is not a new thing.
That's going to be a great addition right there. This will also help out a ton when it comes to pacing throughout the entirety of the match. With my 40 hours of playing the alpha for Marathon, I found that pretty much everyone for the first half, like I think each round was about 20-30 minutes, if I remember correctly. Within the first like 10 to 15 minutes, most teams are already X-filled out. They got their one or...
I mean, everyone has pronouns. Everybody has pronouns. Every single person. Whether it's the animation lead, whether it's the creative director, whether it's the audio director, they all have freaking pronouns. I mean, Kevin Whitmire, staff world artist. This is obviously a guy here, okay? Is it? I know it's compelled. I know that it's compelled at these companies that you're supposed to put your pronouns. So I can't imagine being a guy like this. He might be the most normal guy on the planet. He's kind of jacked. He clearly works out. Doesn't give me the gay vibe just by looking at him. So I'm like, oh, he's probably just a normal straight white guy that likes making video games. But he's got his damn pronouns down there. It's like,
completed they'll spawn out and then they'll rinse and repeat, leaving the people who are kind of out to kind of min-max their experience, playing in an empty world just against AI that wasn't really that engaging. But
New
having
Vegas
this
was broken
rook
on
character
release.
come in mid-match is definitely going to mix things up a bit, especially with rooks. I think you'll have a really big variety of players who just want to hop in, just to pick things up and then bounce out, or you can have highly aggressive players. If you see a rook in the map,
I don't know. I
that
hate
guy's
the
gonna
optics
try to
on the
kill us 'cause he
weapons.
has
I really
nothing else
do.
to lose. So why not just give, again,
That one
another
there, not so
gunfight,
bad.
help keep that engagement going throughout the entirety of the match. This is a great way to kind of have like that free loadout that they had.
Yeah, I was gonna watch that tonight if I didn't stream Wise Ass Duck, so I'll probably try to catch that tomorrow. I did see a clip going around online where it was like some cringe monologue thing she had where she just wouldn't shut up. And I get it, they call that millennial writing, I guess. And it kind of gave me like Gilmore Girl vibes where the character just won't shut up, goes on some tangent or whatever. I'm still hoping that the season 2 is decent.
Previously in the alpha, which just wasn't really that engaging, right? To just kind of come in with just like a low tier loadout. Coming in like this has that same effect of like a low risk, high reward potential, but having to be much more an engaging process rather than just having to be.
These people in the making of video did not put their pronouns in the name tag. The video maker wanted to have them there for virtue points. Oh, it's the start of the episode, but ends quick, thankfully. Yeah, compelled speech, really.
It's just like a loadout option in the menu. And yeah, the visuals of this update in this Vidoc are insane. This is some alpha gameplay on the map Perimeter, which I felt was the one that suffered the most when it came to visuals. Everything was just so matte, washed out, lacked any kind of vibrancy and color. It just did not look good. It was just like, this was
okay. I will say visually they did clean it up a little bit, but that's still, it's like, okay, this right here is an unfinished turd, and now Marathon is a polished turd. It's still a turd.
Because everything was just like flat, matte green. And it didn't really seem to capture the vibe that I think Marathon's art style was really trying to do. But now it's looking a little different, because look at Perimeter now. This is a completely different looking map. The vibe is there. There is drastic differences between like the color tones of the world. There's
Did this man just say Jurassic differences instead of drastic?
weather effects happening. The colors and lighting really stands out. It's just infinitely better. Just look at the screenshot right here. Remember, this is like one of the higher up bases that was in the map Perimeter. You can see like a drastic difference between like the trail that kind of leads you around the map. The rocks look very much different than like the grass and the
Yes,
ground.
they have
The
detail.
lighting stands out so differently.
These are
way the
like
lighting
basic
hits the
Unreal
structures,
Engine
like the
asset
structures,
details.
Like ambient fog. It looks like there's depth to the world.
This guy really is glazing this shit. Holy crap. Like, I was like, I don't know this YouTuber, so I'm going to be as objective as possible. I don't want to start off watching a video on a stream and shitting on this guy. But you are honest to God going off about like the most basic of stuff. Like, how is this? This is a game that comes out in 4 months, and you're acting like the fact that there's detail in the rocks is supposed to be impressive.
Night and day, dude. It's so much better. It definitely changed a lot when it came to the visual identity.
Yeah, they changed
of
palettes.
the
Congratulations.
AI within the game, but I was kind of hoping for some more variety. Where it seems like a lot of the guys, the only difference between them is more just hit points that they tank and the weapons that they hold. Other than that, they all kind of interact with you about the same kind of way, which is something I was kind of hoping for a little bit more of when it came to this additional development time. But obviously, that's such a big ass to add on within like a 6-month like delay that they got.
So Tekla, I think it was a woman that they stole the art from. I don't know if it's a biological woman. I don't know if it's a he, her, they, them, she, it, trans, this, that, or whatever. But it apparently was a woman that they stole the assets from. From what I saw, it's one of those things where the actual design of the characters and the layout of the maps and stuff, those aren't things that the art style would have been drastically affected by. It's more the fact that they used this chick's art in like the background on walls. You'll see it popping up here and there in the game, and didn't even try to clean it up. Or, I mean, they did. They tried to cover it up, but didn't even try to alter it or change it, you know?
The fact that we've gotten this much, I think, is just kind of insane. Now, a very interesting change with the dead runners now having a corpse that actually bleed out to kind of mimic what we saw in the original reveal trailer. I'm all for this. I think this is a great addition. But the big thing is that when you killed somebody in Marathon, it had like that little green person above the bag, right? And basically once that person leaves the match, that green icon above the bag then goes away, letting you know that that team has left the match, which is a really crucial bit of information in an extraction shooter, because people oftentimes will take down a single player, wait for the rest of the team to come by and see if they can help out and cover up and revive that player, using that body as more as bait to then ambush in a 3v2 situation. Right here in this section, you actually can see that they still are using the body bags as a way for you to showcase loot. But take a look at what happens when this player actually gets fully killed right here. The bag does spawn up, but it has like these red locked icons on them. So maybe you have to clear out the squad first before you can actually loot the bodies, which would be a kind of interesting choice. Maybe it's a perk on this character here because we haven't played against that character yet since the alpha.
This is why I don't tend to watch a lot of videos like this from people who are heavily invested in one game, because it turns into theories and glazing and the most mundane things being hyped up to all, like way beyond anything that they deserve. This is not the kind of content I usually consume on YouTube, and there's a reason why. Indie game Voidbreaker. This game looks damn similar to Marathon, except it's 1,000 times better. Why do I know the name Voidbreaker? Instead of playing this, I'll play The Great Rebellion.
Or maybe they have like, oh, you have to like take out the rest of the team before you can loot them or something. There might be some kind of perk or some kind of mod on top of their thing, but the body bags are still going to be there. And you can still see that the way the body is kind of decrepit in the back right there.
My God,
so,
I
like,
hate those animations.
Blood on them will showcase more about how long they've been dead for, I guess. But this
This is the improvement, man. I don't know.
Bungie handles this type of gameplay mechanic, because this will completely determine whether or not you can go in and go safely loot the bodies, or do you have to wait to see if you're getting, you know, baited in by an enemy ambush. Now, one thing I noticed in this entire trailer that I don't see anybody.
Okay, but that also holds the player's hand. If the whole thing is, well, you have to wait until the entire team's wiped out, otherwise you can't loot anybody, then to me that seems like a failsafe for people who don't want to get ambushed, right? Oh no, we don't want people getting ambushed, so you have to wipe out the whole team before you can. So it's going to be either tell them that you still have players alive, or right-handed but shooting using the left eye. Where have we seen that before?
Talking about when it comes to this Marathon update that Arc Raiders does really well, that I wish Marathon would do, but they're just not doing it for some reason. Still not doing it, because when I was reviewing over the UI, at least in the game, from what we saw from this trailer, you can see there is no security box, at least to my knowledge, because depending on your loadout, you actually have what's called a safe pocket right below my webcam here. I'll just remove that so you can see it right here. This is
all right. Let me show you guys something. And I know that Tarkov's is even more like Tarkov's inventory management, as much as it's like you want to pull your hair out when you're trying to make room for everything. There is no game that has a greater inventory, like depth in their inventory management system than Tarkov. I think Tarkov's is the most in-depth you can get with the different types of cases and rearranging things to fit in, like Tetris style, to fit in your inventory, right? It's like case inside of a case, and it gets insane. So that being said, look at the visual appeal, okay? Just compare these two. This one to this one. This is brighter. This is more like, ooh, look, shiny object. But this one right here is just more satisfying. I don't know. The entire vibe of the game is just unappealing.
A safe pocket right below my webcam here. I'll just remove that so you can see it right here. This is basically
Tarkov is very clean.
You bring in,
very clean.
It's highly valuable, and you don't want to lose it, and you might die. You can still bring this back home for looting, so you can still have a chance to, even though you died and lost everything, you can still feel like you made some type of progression, which I did not see that.
You could bring inventory cases into raids
when it came to Marathon's UI, because the other.
You got sick of it in 2001 with Diablo 2. I never got burned out on that with Diablo 2, to be honest. I love Diablo 2. That game was awesome.
Extraction shooters I have played, they have them in their own separate little location within the UI. Now, maybe with Marathon, something like this can be within your inventory where you kind of click and drag into a box or something. That could be very useful. I just think that'd just be something to be crucial for like the...
Was the other game Cyberpunk? No, so the games that we were just looking at was side by side of Marathon's inventory system versus Arc Raiders. I want to play Duckov. Duckov's a game I'm going to have to buy and play at some point over the winter months when I have a little more downtime, maybe some days where I just stay home from work.
Casual extraction shooter experience, because the
That's why I
worst
mod the hell
part
out of it.
about an extraction shooter is dying.
Oh yeah, no worries,
you lose
Warhabit.
a big chunk of your progression, and it can be really disheartening to jump back in, especially as a solo queue player, which
Looks
was the biggest
childish,
struggle
yeah.
within Marathon's alpha. Now it definitely looks like they took some time to really revamp the factions that they have within the game as well.
Oh my god. I'm gonna hide the chat for a second, guys. Hang on a sec. I'm gonna hide myself as well. Just, these are your factions. Hey, Serrano. Look, the thing about arc raiders is, I know I've listened to Leon over at Words Paradise. He's talked about this a lot. He's like, yeah, you know, arc raiders sounds like it's a great game. It's not for me because I don't do extraction shooters. I view arc raiders so differently than your typical extraction shooter. It is so much easier. And I hate to say easy because I don't like games that are easy, but it's more casual. Maybe easy is the wrong word, because absolutely you can come across the wrong guys and get lit up and have all your shit taken. But it just doesn't have that anxiety, crippling anxiety that you get from playing a game like Tarkov. Yeah, I don't know what I'm looking at here. Must have used ChatGPT to get faction names. Cyber Acme. Sounds like Cyber Acne. Arachne. Nucaloric. Sekiguchi. Okay, so that's your standard Asian one. Mida and Traxxas. But not only do they tell you nothing about the factions, but it's so bad that who even cares? You don't even want to care. You don't want to know. Who cares? Like, it's not even worth finding out about.
Which I am very glad for, because it seems like what they actually did is to try to stylize each one of these factions into their own play style. Some of them
2 more days of work
for
and Christmas break till
killing
January
players,
7th.
capturing
Nice.
Objectives, or utilizing explosives. Just some way to mix up your gameplay a little bit, rather than what really
Oh, fair
felt
enough,
like
Serrano.
fetch quests in the alpha, which was so bare bones and really boring, where you really, the only time you ever had fun playing Marathon's alpha was in PvP. And if that's the case for your extraction shooter, you're going to have some problems, because that depth of that gameplay just needs to be there. That's what killed DMZ in the short term. Seeing that we also have a skill tree option right here, hopefully there's some...
Yuck. No, look, I've played some games with some really confusing skill trees. I've played games that have like the branching skill tree where it's not just your normal thing like, okay, well, this unlocks these two and then these two unlock these two. There's an indie game that a German couple made. I got a free copy of a couple years ago, and it's really cool. It's called... crap, I can't think of the name of it right now. I'll think of it later. Really interesting, hand-painted, really cool. And the skill tree there actually does this thing where it basically it's a branching one, but it's very different. It's really cool, but very confusing, right? This isn't even confusing. This is just unappealing to look at. Like, everything about this game is unappealing. This has nothing to do with Marathon. Yeah. 294 demos. That's insane.
really cool unlocks. As you can see, I think they talked about you have like better blueprints you can get within completing different factions. So there's gonna be some benefits for you there within game, that's great to see. But the biggest question on everyone's mind is, will Marathon have a chance to not
Guy's
be
name's
the
Jason
next
Sussman.
Concord? And judging from the changes that were made, everyone loves it. And I think it's actually gonna give it a solid chance to where, yes, this game could succeed. There was
Everyone
definitely
loves
something
it.
there with
Everyone
Marathon.
loves it.
People are very interested in it. People generally did not care or didn't, want to know more or play this game. You wouldn't have seen such a high interest in just this revealed re-release trailer, I guess, if you want to call it in some kind of way, where we actually get a chance to get people back in being interested. A lot of people want this game to be good, just that what we played in the alpha wasn't exactly that. But now the big thing is it going to be able to compete with, say, like Arc Raiders, which is definitely going to take up a sizable chunk of that casual extraction shooter audience, which is their core market that they were going for.
I say again, the problem here is you already have all the negative baggage. You have the massive delays that have pushed this game way further out than they expected. Then you have the unappealing art style. You have all the crap, all the other nonsense people see and are sick and tired of. And it's $40. I mean, I didn't think Concord was worth $10, right? And I never played it. I didn't try the beta. I didn't do any of the early access stuff or any of that kind of crap. I was not going to spend my money on it even for like a meme, right? But nothing about Concord had me interested. But people who played it said that aside from the ugly characters and all the other crap that went, wrong with that game, people said that the shooting, the combat was actually decent. So if that game had at least one thing right, and that was the combat, that should have been enough to carry it, right? No, because there was just too much other shit that went wrong. I think this is exactly the same situation, especially with a $40 game. Too many things have gone wrong.
I heard an argument that maybe by the time Marathon actually releases,
30 people,
will be about 6 months after the release of Arc Raiders, which could have maybe primed
30
some
concurrent.
players who
It'll be more
not
than
really
that.
played extraction shooters before, who didn't jump in and play Marathon. I know plenty of people who have never played an extraction shooter, but then enjoy playing Arc Raiders.
You like
They go,
that
well,
color
I
scheme?
love Halo. I played Destiny in the past. Maybe I'll try out the Bungie one. It costs the same as Arc Raiders. It has some new features that are similar to Arc Raiders as well. Obviously, there's never going to be a full transfer.
Exactly,
over.
Tekla.
I think it actually could have primed a little bit bigger of an audience, but throughout
Four-
the entirety of the match.
400 million to make
Even if
combat
you
work
did not care
properly.
Or didn't want to know more or play this game, you wouldn't have seen such a high interest. This will
jump
be about
ahead here.
6 months after the release of Arc Raiders, which could have maybe primed some players who have not really played extraction shooters.
Shit version
before,
of Destiny,
who didn't
yeah.
jump
Which
in
is
and play
crazy because
Marathon.
Destiny is pretty
I
shitty
know
now, isn't
plenty
it?
of people who have never played an extraction shooter, but then enjoy playing Arc Raiders, and they go, "Well, I love Halo. I played Destiny in the past. Maybe I'll try out the Bungie one. It costs
Okay,
the same as Arc Raiders."
here's the problem.
It has the
No,
same-
no, no. He's completely off base because, again, I've said this before. I'll say it again. I was not a big fan of third-person shooters. Arc Raiders is the only third-person shooter, and that includes the Gears of War series. I've beaten, I think, 2 of the Gears of Wars games in my entire life, right? I didn't like the Division. Arc Raiders is the first third-person shooter I've actually really enjoyed. People who play third-person shooters and people who play first-person shooters aren't always the same people, okay? And this is a first-person shooter. Yes, it's still an extraction game. It's still a multiplayer game. You're still going to have PvP, combat and stuff. But I don't think it's just, well, you play one, you're going to play both. That's just, it would be like saying, again, if you play extraction shooters, you're going to play Tarkov, and you're going to play Marauders, and you're going to play Hunt Showdown. Well, not everybody wants to play every aesthetic and every style of game that exists.
Some new features that are similar to Arc Raiders as well. Obviously, there's never going to be a full transfer over. But I think it actually could have primed a little bit bigger of an audience, potentially. I mean, it's an interesting theory
Maybe.
for sure, but I think it's something that we definitely take in consideration there. But
Hey, Oblivion.
I think having the
Tried out the Destiny beta, found it to be just unimaginative open world Halo with bad acting. Dude, I remember back before I was on YouTube and I was just on Twitch, I got into an argument with this British chick that I was playing Apex Legends with because she was like all about Destiny. She loved Destiny, and I had only played Destiny 2, and I played it for like a month with my buddies, and that was it, right? But I got to Destiny 2 late, and what they did with Destiny 2 was at the very beginning of it, they gave you like the first mission from the first game as the intro tutorial. You spawn in and you and a bunch of other players kill like a boss, and then you move on to Destiny 2. And they were all telling me I was a liar, that I didn't know what I was talking about. I'm like, guys, I just played this like a month ago, right? And at some point they actually admitted they were wrong because they looked it up. But yeah, Destiny 2, I never played the first one. I played the second one, and it just was all right. I mean, I just found that I was on a perpetual cycle of doing strikes over and over and over and over and over. And the combat was pretty satisfying. I'm not going to lie. The combat was good. But I never got into PvP. So, the gamer, the commie. Wonder how much Bungie paid that design artist Anti-Real they stole art from. That is a good question, Geek. I mean, they settled. I'm sure that they settled for a decent amount of money for her to not, take it any further.
success of Arc Raiders doesn't mean that this game is completely dead on release. I think the visual changes, the gameplay changes, and the function changes that they made when it comes to, like, saying the Rook and how, like, prox chat works and things like that.
God, stop saying Rook.
Adding a solo queue experience, making that solo queue experience much better than it was in the alpha. This game generally has a chance, and I think people really want this.
100% Tekla, you're not wrong about that.
That will play this. Well, I think we'll at least get like a year's worth of support with this game. It's not going to be like a Concord where it's out for 2 weeks.
Wait. This man has shifted from people are going to be excited, people are interested, people want this game to succeed, people are probably going to be willing to spend $40 if they played Arc Raiders. It appeals to the same kind of audience. It has a good shot. Now he's saying they're going to support this game for a year. How is that a success? If you're a game that's a live service game can only get support for a year after release, after all the associated costs and delays attached to it, dude, this is straight up glazing. Holy crap.
You know, being abandoned where soon after that, I don't think that's going to happen at all with this game. I think we have something potentially really cool. Now, also coming out of March release, definitely has a nice period of time before GTA 6, which is
terrible combination,
big
Burnham.
looming monster of that year, and also giving enough space after the initial release of Arc Raiders to give you a chance to, you know, have people jump over to play your game. I mean, we've seen this with Battlefield that actually there's a decent amount of player drop off, because if you look at the Steam charts here at release, well, we're talking about over 700,000 people logging in on Steam alone, and now we're kind of looking at a peak player count of like 100,000 players, 120,000 players playing, but steadily going down over time. Now, this is a
Marathon will never hit an all-time peak of 116,000. I'd be shocked if it hit an all-time peak of 44,000. So again, I understand we all play the Steam DB game. We all talk about the numbers on Steam. We all talk about where the peak was, where the concurrent peak is now. This is just asinine.
Still a very healthy player base. I think even beyond right now what Battlefield 6 hoped they were going to accomplish.
Also show the Arc Raider numbers.
So it's still doing great, but I'm saying, like, that's still a few 100,000 people not jumping back in to play the game, at least consistently, where they might be jumping in to play Call of Duty, maybe some other type of shooters out there. Maybe it gets that room for Marathon.
Show Arc Raiders numbers, you chicken. Come on.
If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, always appreciate, guys, and I'll catch you all.
Wait, this game has nothing in common with Battlefield 6 at all. Zero. Nothing in common with Battlefield 6. And yet, somehow, instead of comparing the numbers to Arc Raiders, he compares them to freaking Battlefield 6, who did have a competitor come out a month later in Black Ops 7. Oh my god. Paid Concord Alpha had more players than the free Concord Beta. Yeah. Yeah, Battlefield 6 and Arc Raiders are not the same. I can't even. I don't understand where he thought he was going with that. Age of Empires numbers to Dota or League, exactly. Well, I'm sorry for putting you guys through that, but it was better than watching the 30 minutes of Marathon glazing themselves, to be honest. I mean, that's better than that, right? It's not going to get any better, though. It's not going to get any better, because the next one we're going to jump into here, guys, is, of course, this wonderful bit of cringe that we experienced from the Game Awards. And don't worry, we're not going to spend too much time on this. This is one of those... I haven't talked about any of this yet, so I just feel like I have to. Yeah, the majority of hardcore Tarkov fans are gun nuts, and they can't comprehend this for some reason. I didn't realize the amount of Tarkov fans that were all gun nuts. And then, so when I first started playing Tarkov, I had never built a gun in my life. I have built several since then. And all of a sudden, Tarkov all makes more sense. So I'm like, oh, I get it now, right? Now it all makes sense to me. Full of Arma players. Yeah. What's that? This is Atsu from Ghost of Yote. Erika Ishii from the Game Awards. Now, here's the funny thing. You can focus on the terrifying outfit all you want. This purse bucket here was the conversation that came out of her appearance at the Game Awards. Mind you, Ghost of Yote didn't win any awards. There were many games that didn't. Expedition 33 won basically everything. Your comment got yeeted into oblivion? Oh, no. Oh, my God. You're about to eat? Don't eat popcorn, man. So, like I said, I haven't talked about this, but this right here was making waves online. And the only people who didn't seem to have a problem with it were those who were the sycophants who love Erika Ishii so much that they refer to her as they, them. Because apparently Erika Ishii is one of these people with multiple personalities or something, right? So it's all started with this post here from this Anna Anson person that said she thought she was going to win. And I disagree. This right here, when they announced that, what's-her-face, the lesbian neurodivergent chick won voice actress or actor at the Game Awards. Erica knew that she didn't win, okay? She straight up knew. That's why she's chomping down on the popcorn. This is the sign of somebody who is purely, truly narcissistic. I was thinking about it. I even looked up the Peacock Theater here, where they had the Game Awards, has a no outside food policy. So either she brought her own popcorn in her little popcorn purse bucket, or she bought it there and put it in there. But she was the only person in the audience that I ever saw eating. Now think about this. She's one of these women who's up for an award, right? Yo, Smeg!
Is like this tangible thing that you can
Our
point
Christ
to
can
and
tell you.
say, hey man, I love you. This many dollars worth.
The power of Christ compels you. Take that possessed demon off the screen.
Smeg with the 20. Appreciate you, dude. Don't worry. We're not gonna linger on this too long. H. Brown, the funny thing about that is the same thing happened with Ghost of Tsushima. Daisuke Suje, the voice actor, the English voice actor for Jin Sakai, isn't even that good in my personal opinion. And yet they based the entire character's model on the American voice actor instead of the Japanese speaking voice actor. So my entire point is, people are like, oh, she's a vibe, she's having fun. No, this entire popcorn thing was her attempt at making herself noticed, because otherwise she would have just been one more of the losers sitting there in the audience not winning an award, right? Complete deranged lunacy, yes. This was pure, like, peak narcissism here. If people who don't understand that, the people glazing her, they're gonna go, oh, leave her alone, she's just eating, what's your problem? No, this entire thing was a spectacle. It was planned. Why is my internet being so screwy? Hang on.
And the game.
That's super loud. And again, she's not even closing her mouth when she chews, okay? And then waving the arm like a retarded toddler. Yeah. The Japanese Yote voice actor is a fox. Exactly. I think I've seen pictures of her. To encourage the award winners to actually show up. I thought this thing was spreading the infection. She's there to watch, not participate. It's disrespectful. But it's, again, her making herself the moment, right? And that's the thing. It's not Jennifer English who won the award. Rightfully so. She did a fantastic job in Expedition 33. Honestly, the guy that did Verso or Charlie Cox, although I knew Charlie Cox wasn't going to win because he pretty much shit all over his job. He's like, yeah, I recorded all my lines in one day. I couldn't care less. No, I didn't play the game. I don't care. He wasn't going to win the award. They weren't going to do that. Let me see. I heard from some of the people in many award ceremonies. She's pulling a Mercante with popcorn instead of a cunt hairpin. Actually, that's very much the same thing. You're not wrong there, Vernum. And again, people who are on the other side of all these issues, they're not going to see that. They're going to look at it and be like, oh no, she's just having a great time and she's enjoying herself. And look how supportive she's being. She's cheering her on, right? No, this is Erica making it all about herself. That's completely what this is. It's an act. People forget these are actors. People forget that these individuals are paid to pretend for a living. You can't find a more narcissistic group of people on the planet. Maybe athletes, maybe singers. Let me see. Daka says, all night, every single American woke dev and Japanese dev who went woke to appease American localizers were just beaten like dogs, seeing a French studio take every single award from them. He also shared this picture. It says women are getting larger. I can't. I can't even with this. That's how I see the popcorn thing. I'm here to spectate. Salty loser. Yeah. She did the same BS when she was on Critical Role. Well, you think athletes or singers would be more narcissistic? Maybe. Women are getting bigger. I can't. This is just too much. You see the cocky pose while looking ridiculous? Yeah. No, she's trying to get all the attention on herself. Here was an interesting part, though. A lot of this conversation about like voice actors having an influence on their role. From the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences, on the Game Maker's Notebook, Alexa Ray C chats with Erika Ishii about starring as Atsu in Ghost of Yote, her acting journey and working in games, their time at Suckerpunch. Now, I haven't looked at the entire interview. This is just this little clip here. But she does reference at one point how, well, I'll just play the first like 15 seconds and you'll kind of get what she's talking about. This whole influence that people have on roles.
I mean, coming in, there were still a lot of changes, and they were willing to sort of move some writing and things around in order to really get it right. I mean, and that.
Yeah, coming in, there were some changes, and they were willing to move things around in the writing. It's like, okay, well, there you go. That kind of, it all fits. It all tracks now. It all makes sense. Good God, this one here, Kabrutus shared this. This is, now you want to talk about nightmare fuel? This is like straight up nightmare fuel. I said rappers, but YouTube ate it. Oh my God. She looks like a whale now. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, she needs to stop eating so much popcorn. Back off the popcorn, Erica. Oh my God, Daka. This account shares so many bangers. This one here. I can't even with this. This one's too much. Oh my God. Women, stop doing this. I beg you, stop. Yeah, Vegeta had a rough time.
To show someone how much you care. It is like this tangible thing that you can point to and say, hey man, I love you. This many dollars worth.
Dude.
I want you to note, I wrote possessed demon. She is an actual demon, possessed by the mind virus. That thing is not of this world.
Dude, you are so not wrong. And thanks for the 5, Smeg. Appreciate you, buddy. No, 100%. It goes beyond demon. In fact, I have some old videos of Erica floating around somewhere in my bookmarks I'd have to go back and find. It's just her personality. It is that stereotypical, narcissistic. I mean, everything is about her. Anytime she's in a group setting, like somebody mentioned when she was on Critical Role, she has to make everything about herself. I saw one where she like legit climbed up on the table or something and was like, I don't know, making herself look like a complete fool. But she doesn't care because she's getting all the attention. The thing is, when you're that kind of personality type, that negative attention is still attention, right? Don't know who told her to dress and look like that, but that one probably hates her more than any of us. It was there to set the plague in the old popcorn. Either that was somewhere they charge it by the... Yeah, no. So I looked up the Peacock Theater. They sell popcorn. So she could have gotten that popcorn there. They do ask that you, I guess, put in your food order before your event. I don't know if the Game Awards is any different. But she might have not snuck in her own popcorn. She might have actually played by the rules and bought it. But again, I don't understand at an award show. This is a nice event, right? They're all dressed up. Everyone's dressed up in crazy, weird outfits, or actually looking, presentable in some cases. And you decide you're gonna take a popcorn bucket to your seat and just make a mess, throwing it in your fat face. I mean, I just don't understand. How do you have such little class? I mean, this is Miss Antifa, right? This is the woman that's famously said her and her wife are Antifa. So it all makes sense now. They don't care about decorum. They don't care about tradition or any of that kind of crap. All right, so the important part, though, from Sucker Punch Productions today, the end of an era. We are so grateful to Brian for nearly 3 decades of amazing leadership at Sucker Punch and excited for Jason and Adrian to step into their new roles in the new year. And this is from an original post from PlayStation saying, our deepest thanks and gratitude to Sucker Punch Productions co-founder Brian Fleming, who is handing over the leadership reins as the studio begins a new chapter. Starting January 1st, longtime creative and technical leaders Jason Connell and Adrian Bentley will step into new roles as studio heads, continuing to guide the team's focus on ambitious, character-driven experiences that define PlayStation Studios. So this has caused a bit of this whole situation where I know Smash JT, he's been going on about the sales numbers and Circana numbers, and he was fighting with Long Island Viper for a long time about all this stuff, and it got to be like, it was the biggest thing being talked about online for a while. Whether Ghost of Yote was successful, a flop, triumphant, it beat all the Chud's expectations, whatever people thought about it. I always said the game will probably make money, but I don't think it's going to be huge, right? Well, it's turning out now that a lot of people are theorizing if this dude who was the co-founder of Sucker Punch is all of a sudden stepping away after the release of Ghost of Yote, there's no way the game was this amazing, wonderful smash hit if he was essentially forced out of this company that he co-founded, right? Something doesn't quite add up. Erica Ishii, I'm non-binary. I scream as I run past the women's line to the men's bathroom. Dude, oh my God, you're giving me flashbacks. I just had a dream last night that I was in the men's room and a woman walked in. And I didn't remember it until just now. By the way, how did he get invited to the Game Awards? Who, Smash? I don't think he got invited, guys. I think he just bought a ticket. And I'm not saying that like to shit on the guy. I mean, I like Smash. You know, he and I are cordial and stuff. My assumption would be that he just knew somebody and paid for a ticket. I think him saying he got invited was a troll job. I think Smash has been doing a lot of trolling lately. Okay, he's been doing a lot of trolling online. So I imagine he somehow found, acquired a ticket, secured a ticket.
Presents are the best way to show someone how much you care. It is like this tangible thing that you can point to and say, hey man, I love you, this many dollars worth.
She no smuggled that popcorn in under her fupa.
I read that as futa, and I only recently in the past month or two learned what futa was. Oh my god. Thanks for the 2, buddy. Oh my god. Yeah, no doubt she probably snuck it in underneath there. Messed it up, but you get the message. I get it. No, I get it. Let me see. His ass got fired. By the way, how did he get invited to the Game Awards? My attention was Mega Man Dual Overdrive. I was saying before, I'm not a big Mega Man video game guy. I loved the Mega Man character as a kid. I loved watching the show, but I didn't ever get into the games. Mainstream would never invite one of us. Yeah. Tried to write Gunt. Hey, Empress. Fuda and Poopa are very different things. There's no such thing as a Fupanari. Oh my god. Brian Fleming apparently worked at Suckerpunch for 30 years. He might just be retiring. Right. So that was my thing I was wondering. LOL, no Google, not giving you my name. God, is there another name I can call you? Because holy shit, that's a long username, man. Isn't Antifa registered as terrorists? You know, Kamchi, I don't know if that's something that actually ever happened. And again, I'm not going to rule out the possibility that, yes, he did just choose to retire. It is kind of strange timing, though. Like, not going to lie, it is really weird timing. So, Smash put out here and said, remember when the Smash JT fella said Ghost of Yotei was a massive flop for Sony? And again, I'm not buying that it was a massive flop. I'm not. First off, it's been too short of a time. It's been too short of a time period to call the game a massive flop. It also depends on your definition of a flop, right? This is where we're getting to, like, we're going off into the weeds with the terms like woke and this and that. Flop in my mind means didn't make money. But for other people, it's going to be flop is didn't meet certain expectations. Depending on what version of the word you're going with, it's going to change how you view the sales numbers from Ghost of Yotei if we ever even actually see those sales numbers. In reality, though, it probably didn't live up to the expectations that Sony had for it. I could definitely see that being a thing. I could 100% see that being a thing. Despite lip service, Sony ponies fell for, and all the haters piled on me, calling me a grifter, and even dared to join my live streams to berate me over how Circana misrepresents numbers. Well, I was right again. No one can say it isn't success they wanted, but the total flop is unequivocal. Should do a collab with Smash. I've been on his streams before. I was thinking if I ever get back to doing like a Wednesday night co-stream, I could try to get him on. The problem is he and I are both, I'm disavowing him as retarded. Well, I'll tell you this. I've said before, I'll say it again. He can't debate his way out of a paper bag. He is probably one of the worst debaters I've ever seen. And I say that in all honesty, not even trying to pick on the guy. He needs to never do a debate. But to be fair, I wouldn't debate anybody either. I'm not a debater. I like to have conversations, and if it ends up being that my original opinion is reinforced, or that I maybe figure that my original opinion might have been skewed one way, or another because I was using bad information, I'm okay with being wrong. I just want to make sure that I'm using a good basis for my arguments, Sony Japan Japanese boss dude was literally pissed when he heard that they changed the story. A micro debater, yeah. Oh, let me see. So ridiculous, 30 years and you throw away your game to make propaganda and feature horrendous looking terrorists. So Black Cat, on that note, there is something that Smash pointed out in his video that I think is relevant to the whole 30-year time period and whether or not he chose to retire on his own or not, or he was actually, shit canned. So Suckerpunch Productions is falling apart after the atrocious decision of inserting a DEI girl boss Antifa member into a beloved story. Pissing on the legacy that was Jin Sakai. Can't say I'm surprised. They get exactly what they deserve. Again, I'm over here on team Ghost of Tsushima was already woke, so I don't even know that they're pissing on Jin Sakai's legacy. I just think they would have been smarter to continue his story in the second game. I personally have no desire to go back and actually play Ghost of Tsushima. I've downloaded it. I played it for 4 hours. I don't have any desire to continue playing it. It's a pretty game. The combat's satisfying. But after knowing what I know about so much of both those games, the actors, the studio, I personally am just kind of over the entire damn thing, you know? Get a better spell checker. Game Board did some right on making Expedition 33 Game of the Year. They couldn't not. They couldn't not. There's no way that they could pass off any other game as Game of the Year. There's just, I mean, they just couldn't, right? So here you go from Wario64, where it says Suckerpunch Productions co-founder Brian Fleming passes the reins to the next chapter of creative leadership. And this is, again, I think from a post that he put out there. Brian Fleming announced he's passing Sucker Punch on to a new generation. He's worked closely with PlayStation Studios. Starting January 1st, longtime creative and technical leads Jason Connell and Adrian Bentley will step in new roles. There was something that Smash pointed out, though. So in a LinkedIn post that this guy here, Brian Fleming, put out, he said that he didn't know yet what his next steps were. So again, you could retire and not necessarily know what you're going to do. If you've got plenty of money, it's okay. You could quit your job and say, hey, you know, I'll take my time and figure out what I want to do. That's a possible story. But then he also said that it's going to give him time to get into politics and activism. So I don't know. Given the direction that this second game did, you know, the direction of the studio, at least, with a lot of the people celebrating Charlie Kirk's death the day that it happened, the hiring of Erica Ishii, and we all know that these studios know a lot about these voice actors, and most of these voice actors are unhinged lunatics. I don't know. It makes me wonder if he actually did get fired. Flop for me is sales failed and people hated it. That's how for me, that's a flop. It was woke. You have 3 girl boss characters in the game. One of them's a lesbian, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm not saying that the game was like rampant woke, complete like girl boss feminist crap. I'm saying the same thing that you could make arguments about the sequel, the same thing people have complained about with other games. You could absolutely make the argument that the first game had all those same elements in the game. Now, the main character was a man, sure. So that right away got rid of the protagonist being a girl boss. But just saying, those pieces, the elements of what we saw come to fruition in Ghost of Yotei were there in Ghost of Tsushima. Pushed out and replaced by Soy Boys. Sucker Punch is beyond dead now. Well, it's going to be very curious. Okay, let's say that Ghost of Yotei is financially a decent, successful game. Doesn't meet the expectations they had for it, but does it kill the franchise moving forward? Like, is there anything that they can do to move past the, drama that surrounded the entire thing, right?
Presents are the best way
Mind's
to show
Eye. Get
someone
out of here
how
with
much
Mind's Eye. Oh my god.
It is like this tangible thing that you can point to and say,
Yeah,
"Hey,
Kilted
man,
Cajun. I love
you.
Kilted Cajun. I need to get him back on my channel.
You lie too much, mate. Mine's eye was go TY. Easy.
Goat TY, that's right. Dude, Mind's Eye. Oh my god. Who thought Mind's Eye was a good idea? The thing looked like Temu GTA from the get-go. Thanks for the 2, Smeg, dude. You need to chill. You've already super chatted way too much. We see that #1 crown. We get it. All right. They're all left-wing activists. And if you're not in that environment, you're hiding your power level. Animal Farm. If anyone didn't read the book or the original movie, I'm gonna say it's messed up. Yeah, no, dude. I have no faith in an Animal Farm animated film. Like, what the hell? I read that book a couple years ago for the first time. I'm like, okay, pretty easy. Communism bad, but how are they going to co-opt that? MT is woke and forced, real well written character is not woke. Fake strong female character or real substance characters. Context. No, you're true. You're correct about that context. I'm just saying, when I started going through, because I hadn't played the game yet, and looking up the characters and their impact on the game and their influence, I'm like, yeah, you could definitely see that the signs were there. Does it make the game Ghost of Tsushima a woke mess? No, of course not. You can still play the game and enjoy it, and the game is a competent. Many people love the game. Many people thought the game was like one of the best games. I think it won Game of the Year, right? But I'm just saying that you could definitely tell the signs were there. Sucker Punch was definitely, they had their fingerprints all over it. Animal Farm was originally animated. Oh, it was. Interesting. I read the book. I didn't know that it was an animation first. What was the animated before it was a book, though? The Milking Farm. No.
Presents are the best way to show someone how much you care.
Dude,
It is
Smeg,
like
come
this
on,
tangible
man.
thing that you can point to and say,
3
"Hey, man,
players on Mind's Eye right now.
this many dollars worth."
No.
Sorry, I didn't quite hear what you said about SCs.
Okay, then I'll stop telling you to stop, because then if I'm going to do child psychology on you. I'm just going to stop telling you to do anything. Seth Rogen's in that movie. Don't even remind me, dude. Don't remind me. There's an old animated cartoon of the book. I learned that today as well. Interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, I don't want to watch anything Seth Rogen's in. Dude, the worst part of the Super Mario movie was Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. And the movie was like, objectively, it was like an 8 out of 10, because I thought the movie was great, but they did exactly, like, it was paint by colors. They did exactly what they needed to make a competent movie. Smeg.
Do I need to be liked? Absolutely not. I like to be liked. Do I need to be liked?
The animation's so
not.
gruesome, dark
I
as hell.
like to be liked. I enjoy being liked. I have to be liked.
Smeg with the 5 gifted. Dude, yes, you owned me. I got nothing left, dude. All I got to do is say thank you. That's all I got left. Oh, and you got Empress. Awesome. Yeah, you know you're screwed when your game is classified as Concord sequel. Well, I saw that Legendary Drops put out a video today talking about Highguard, and his video blew up on it, so that's pretty awesome. All right, so Kilted Cajun, somebody who's not a soy retard like that last guy we saw, has this little 6-minute video talking about the co-founder of Sucker Punch. And I don't know which article he was reading for this video. I'm hoping Insider Gaming, because actually I like Insider Gaming for the most part, but I just want to give him a shout out. Well, I'll link his video down in the comments after we're done. Kilted is a cool dude. I actually really like Kilted Cajun.
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this special bulletin. When a video game studio puts out hit after hit, the audience praises them, the publishers, the studios, the employees praise them left and right and center, and they go.
Geek, I'm gonna out myself here. I have still never seen Pineapple Express. I will get around to it. I will.
On to have illustrious careers, but unfortunately, one of the number one things we've been seeing as of late over the past few years is video games, some AAA studios not doing so well, underperforming,
I know.
shutting down left, right, and center, layoffs by the tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands by now, and studios shutting their doors. And well,
is Seth Rogen Canadian or is Kilted Cajun? Because Kilted Cajun's from the South. Seth Rogen, I don't know. I know he lives in California. Or no, he's shit. Is he in New York? Is he in New York or LA? One of those two.
Founders of the studios getting let go, stepping down for one
I've seen the
reason
Matrix
or another,
movies.
and usually there's some sort of hubbub, but well, that doesn't seem to be the case, as this just came out today at the time of this recording. Sucker Punch Productions.
Well, that makes sense then.
Co-founder Brian Fleming stepping down and handing over the leadership reins as the studio begins a new chapter. This coming from PlayStation. It's making the rounds all over the internet. PlayStation starting January 1st, longtime creative and technical leaders Jason Connell and Adrian Bentley will step
I remember
into
that
new roles
geek.
as studio head.
Dude, he DM'd Dankula and asked him if he was Jewish. I'm like, holy shit.
It's continuing to guide the team's focus on ambitious, character-driven experiences that define PlayStation Studios. One of the co-founders of Sucker Punch Production stepping down, handing over the leadership. I find this rather strange because no matter where I looked and where I checked, there could not find any sort of definitive answer as to why every single article, Insider Gaming, going on and on since 1998, co-founder and producer of Suckerpunch Studios, all the games that were created. Kotaku, again, praising the accolades. This game, that game, major leadership change is coming. Announced that Brian Fleming is stepping down.
I think I know where he's going with
And yet,
this.
the only thing everyone is talking about is what the studio created in the past. Nothing about what they created recently. You know, can't imagine,
Except for
why
variety.
the co-founder of the studio would willingly step down if their most recent endeavor was such a smash hit. And maybe because, well, maybe it wasn't such a smash hit as everyone believes it to be. Because we already know the numbers. You can praise the game all you want to. Not saying you could not have fun with this game, with Ghost of...
Dude, not only is Kotaku still around, but Alyssa Mercante is actually back doing like freelance work at Kotaku. I'm not even kidding you. Like, she recently put out an article for Kotaku talking about... was that for the one talking about the Game Awards? I can't remember. Yeah, no, Kotaku somehow is still around.
Yote sold 4 million units, according to Google AI Overview, right? These are numbers we can't deny. Was it a success? Was Ghost of Yote a financial success? I'm sure it was.
Well, remember, she got fired as senior editor or editor-in-chief or whatever, but yes, so she is back working as a writer or a journalist or whatever, if you will. But yes, she doesn't have her position of, it was either senior editor or whatever it was back. Yeah, so it'd be freelance work, I imagine.
I have no doubt in my mind. Did people have fun playing it? Absolutely. I know a few of them. However, comparisons to Ghost of Tsushima, the original
Editor-in-chief
hit for Sucker
Yeah,
Punch
urinalist.
production,
Urinalist.
it's tracking 20% behind Tsushima's impressive early sales. Huh. And then in Japan, initial sales were roughly half of Ghost of Tsushima. So while the game may have been a financial success, it is unequivocally underperforming. And then, of course, you have the Game Awards. Jeff Keighley's Game Awards, his annual little circle jerk, pat everybody on the back, let's see the next trailer event, where Ghost of Yote had 7 nominations: game direction, narrative, art direction, score and music, audio design, best action and adventure game, and, of course...
I will say, I think Kilted is pointing out something that's a very good point to kind of address. Yes, Expedition 33, they swept practically every category, I think, except one, right? It was arguable if they should have won Best RPG, but somebody else on Twitter pointed out today that typically your Game of the Year winner also wins the category of game that it falls into, and Expedition 33 is a JRPG, and therefore it's in the RPG category. It won Game of the Year, so it kind of makes sense that they also won RPG of the Year. Okay, so I think there is one category that it lost in. So clearly these other games didn't have a chance. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Hollow Knight Silksong, Hades 2, Split Fiction. Nothing was going to beat, he added a B in unequivocally. Interesting. So it wasn't going to beat Expedition 33. However, let's look at the previous title. How many awards, can anybody tell me how many awards Ghost of Tsushima won? I imagine it probably won like 5-6 awards the year it came out, right? So this is the successor to a very successful game, a Game of the Year. And it didn't even manage to come away with one award. Sure, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, it was embarrassing for them. And rightfully deserved to some extent. But this is far more significant because Kingdom Come Deliverance was not a Game of the Year. Never, not even in your wildest dreams. The original game was like very, very low key. Very few people even knew about it when it first came out. The sequel didn't have much writing on it. Ghost of Yote is a sequel to a massively successful game. Okay? It's just insane. He had, it was this diversity category, accessibility. Oh, shit.
Everyone's favorite
Yeah,
voice
player's
actress,
choice was
Erika
Wuthering
Ishii.
Waves.
Didn't she look fabulous eating popcorn in the audience? Boy, that was a sight to behold. Got 7 nominations, but didn't sniff a single win. Now, to be fair, it was some rather stiff competition, I will admit, and that's for the most part, even without Expedition 33, there was some still pretty good competition in those categories. Not one single award, underperforming compared to Ghost of Tsushima. So,
oh yeah, no, I know KCD 1 was better. Most people say KCD 1 was better than KCD 2. My point about that is if you're comparing apples to oranges, the level of hype and expectation to follow up the success of a massively successful game wasn't there for KCD 2 because the first game, it took like a long period of time for the game to actually like become kind of a viral success and to actually sell millions of copies, whereas Ghost of Tsushima was like, holy shit, this is the best thing since sliced bread, you know? Black Girl, yeah, the South of Midnight game won the Games for Impact, and then two white women managed to win. Live or a restream? We're live, Jacob Scott. I just don't see very much Kick Chat these days, unfortunately, because most of it's full of bots.
Heaven forbid. I can't possibly imagine.
Yeah,
that,
Vernum.
I don't know. That maybe his stepping down. Where'd the article go? I had it on the page. There he is. Can't imagine that he would be stepping down or being asked to step down. I'm sure this is 100% voluntarily, right? Right, ladies and gentlemen? Heaven forbid, PlayStation couldn't have ever come
Yo, Hook, was that a real thing that happened in the game where Henry gets cucked? Was that a legit thing? Or was that just a meme? Games for Impact was my favorite category because all the games that were in there fell flat on their faces. Yeah, exactly.
Stepped in and said, hey, we'd like you to do this, or else. I'm sure his moving on to greener pastures, probably he's retiring. He's made enough money doing the thing that he loves as the co-founder of Sucker Punch Productions. Right? I'm sure a lot of people are going to be making excuses on Ghosts of Yotei's success or lack thereof, or defending it and coping, and Brian Fleming is just moving on to something else, moving on to a better financial opportunity because Ghost of Tsushima just made him all that much money.
I don't know, 30 years of the same company, the company you co-founded, after you've released quite a variety of games, I can't imagine that there's a more successful, better opportunity. I think this is straight up, he's just going to be retired.
Who knows? Just speculation. I can't seem to find an answer to that simple little question. Why exactly did Brian Fleming step down, considering he's the co-founder of the studio? But then again, what do I know? But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Leave a like, leave a dislike, do all those nifty little things that YouTube is begging you to do. And I hope to see you on the next one. Interesting.
All right, I will link his video down below to you guys. If you don't already follow Kilted, you should. He's one of the guys that he doesn't actually have an agenda. Kilted just says what his opinion is, how he feels about something. Tries to be a bit more nuanced. And I appreciate it. That's why I like to have him on my channel. I think I've had him on twice now. And the dude is just, he's a good guy. All around, he cares about games being fun, cares about games being entertaining. Beyond anything else, any sort of messaging, he just wants people to actually have a good time for the money that they spend, so. Fleek said in his video that AC Shadows should won Games for Impact because the impact they made on Ubisoft stock prices. Yeah, that's pretty fair. He was better at writing books or when he found penicillin. Oh my god. All right, so now we're going to get into the most controversial of all the topics tonight. I would say controversial only because people have a lot of mixed feelings about this. So let's go ahead and close the poll and see where we ended up. I imagine I can kind of guess where things are. Yeah, 31 votes. When developing games, AI should be 65% depends on how it's used. Wow, I really framed that poorly, didn't I? Wow. Oh no, I had them in line from never be used down to bottom. Okay. Couldn't care less, 19%. Seldom be used, 13%. Never be used at 3%. So one person said it should never be used. Ish. Interesting. Okay. So I think the majority of us are somewhere between, you know, at this point, we just would rather AI make games and people just go kick rocks if they're going to be, you know, shitty about their job and not actually know what they're doing, or not know what their customer base actually wants. And then the rest of us are like, yeah, you know, you can use it as a tool, just it depends on how you're going to use it. I don't want to play terrible AI games. I have played really, really awful AI games. You guys have seen me stream some of them. Oblivion, I was talking about that Sancticide game earlier, and that thing was the most absolute dog shit thing I've ever played in my entire life. And that thing was probably made entirely with AI. So, that being said, Oblivion, I just saw your message. It's all good, buddy. Let me just text the wife real quick. Hang on a second. Let her know. I'm going to try to wrap this up in the next 20 minutes. I don't have another video to watch. We're just going to go through some retarded tweets because, my God, there are a lot of them. Probably in about 20 at the most. I know. I'm going to wake up feeling like dog shit in the morning. I'm actually doing okay. I was feeling sick, and then I had my green tea and a bunch of cough drops and some Advil cold and sinus, and we're feeling pretty good. Couldn't care less. It has and always will be used. That's the other thing, too. To some degree, AI has always been a thing in some capacity or another. But let's just go ahead and jump into this. Now, I'm going to give you guys... Ooh, that's a good one then. Yeah, well, if you're going to cover the AI, I'll make sure to raid you because that's something we're going to leave off with is the AI. All I want is transparency about its use. That's it, 100%. And Steam is, I believe, still going to be doing that for any game that heavily uses AI. They want to have that little sticker on there that says AI was used in the making of the game. That being said, guys, I said at the beginning of the stream, before most of you got here, because I'm not sure how I'm going to be feeling the next couple days, I'm going to try to structure this as we go through it into what I can possibly clip into a video. I don't like doing the live stream clip video upload thing. I prefer to just sit down, spend 10-15 minutes, share my thoughts on something, maybe do a little bit of editing with some video footage in the background and call it good. But since I don't know if I'll be able to record in a few days if I do get sick, I'm going to try to like snip this segment into something that I can upload just in case I do get sick. So if I'm not reading the chat as much as I regularly do, I'm not ignoring you guys. I'm just going to try to get this where I can actually clip it, upload it, and have it something where I can use for a video. So just figured I'd give you guys that heads up. I'm sure I'll still be reading the chat like normal because I have a bad tendency to spend more time getting sidetracked than anything else. All right, so there was this post from Pirate Nation today that said Larian Studios has shared details about their next project, a new entry in the Divinity series that aims to elevate everything they've achieved so far. Described as their most ambitious RPG yet, it will be even larger in scope than Baldur's Gate 3, which is, you know, it's a pretty lofty thing to say because Baldur's Gate 3 was one of those greatest games of all time that, once again, I've never played yet. The game remains firmly turn-based, features co-op multiplayer, and is being built on a brand new engine designed to address past technical challenges. Development has been underway for over 2 years and is now in full production, with the team targeting a shorter cycle of 3 to 4 years at a healthier pace compared to previous projects. An early access release is most likely, though not yet committed to, and is unlikely before 2027. This is the Divinity Larian has always wanted to create, combining decades of experience into one expansive adventure. So, for you guys that remember, the Game Awards had the trailer come out for this game. And during my live stream reaction, I was terrified to even show the trailer. Yeah, I see you trying to distract me there. Because of the fact of how graphic and visibly disturbing the trailer was. Now, I have no problem with the content in the trailer existing. If the game's not for me, it's not for me. If it is for you, it's for you. I don't care. It's whatever. There's a lot of people who've had a lot of different opinions about the trailer, about the game, about the content that, you know, was put into it. My biggest issue with the trailer as a parent, and this is going to sound stupid, but this is just kind of the way my brain works, is, hey, maybe you could have given us a heads up for anybody who had their kids watching the trailer. For me personally, my kids weren't watching the Game Awards, so it didn't have any effect on me at all. But for other people who might have been watching it with their kids, yeah, give us a little bit of a heads up that there's going to be an orgy and a man being burned to death. I mean, just something, you know? It's just something. So that being said, it was one of those things that it shocked a lot of people, but that wasn't even the biggest controversy to come out about the game. The biggest controversy now that has been blowing up online all day long is that Baldur's Gate 3's developer, Larian, has had to defend itself after fans reacted to generative AI use. Quote, "I'm not entirely sure we are the ideal target for this level of scorn." Trailer started out with intended for mature audiences. Is that not warning enough? To be honest, DB, I wasn't watching the full stream because I was cooking dinner at the time. So for me, I might have just missed it. So thank you for pointing that out. That is one of those things that I just didn't notice. So I had heard other people say that they didn't have a warning on there, but apparently if it was there, I just missed it. Like I said, that might be my only complaint with the content that was there, is if they didn't have that. So that being said, this whole thing started because the developer, I guess, made a statement that they would be using generative AI to basically get concept ideas for the game before they implement them into the actual artwork and everything else. Not that they'd be using AI in the game itself. Says Larian says that nothing AI generated will appear in the games, and it does not develop concept art with AI tools. So you would think that would be enough for everybody to be satisfied with, the statement from the studio head, given the fact that this is Baldur's Gate 3's developer, right? These guys are, everyone loves them. They're just the best thing ever, best game ever. Woke people love it. Anti-woke people love it. Baldur's Gate 3, greatest game of all time. I've heard it has like a third act problem or whatever, but in general, the game seems like it's one of those greatest game of all time conversation pieces, right? Unfortunately, this has turned into now everybody freaking out about the fact that Larian Studios might be using generative AI to help in the design process of their game. So Sven Vinka, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, at Larian says, "Holy F, guys, we're not pushing hard for or replacing concept artists with AI. We have a team of 72 artists, of which 23 are concept artists, and we are hiring more. The art they create is original, and I'm very proud of what they do." Yeah, Marathon can't say that, right? I was asked explicitly about concept art and our use of generative AI. I answered that we use it to explore things. I didn't say we use it to develop concept art. The artists do that, and they are indeed world-class artists. We use AI tools to explore references, just like we use Google and art books. At the very early ideation stages, we use it as a rough outline for composition, which we replace with original concept art. There is no comparison. I talked about how we use ML here if you would like to know more, and then he shared a link to an article from GameSpot. He said we've hired creatives for their talent, not for their ability to do what a machine suggests, but they can experiment with these tools to make their lives easier. I think that that's a fair opinion to have, right? AI derangement syndrome? Little bit. Concept work or rapid prototyping, or for solo devs, especially as placeholders, it makes sense. And there was a situation, and they address it in some of these tweets, that Claire Obscure Expedition 33 ran into, where they did use, because it was a smaller team, some generative AI as placeholders, and then people noticed, and they said, yep, we missed that one. We were going to replace it with actual art by actual humans, and then I believe they eventually did. But yeah, over here, very AFK on Twitter, he works over at Larian, says, that face when you announce a game in 2025, because honestly, this is kind of the state of things right now. One misstep, one little mishap can definitely, and we've seen it with Marathon, we've seen it with a lot of things, although with Marathon, with Bungie, it's more than one misstep. One little thing can definitely taint a lot of people's opinions of your game. It's just one of those unfortunate things that's human nature. Even though you have a Divinity producer, and this is a statement, an article from Dexerto just yesterday, ironically enough, saying that voice actors like Jennifer English would never get to shine if minor lines were replaced with AI. She first voiced 70 characters in Divinity before going on to win Best Performance for her role as Mael. So, two games that are both allegedly involved in using generative AI, and here you have a producer on Divinity saying that we can't have AI replacing voice actresses or voice actors. So, it would seem like these guys understand that they're not going to be using AI to create things. It's just going to be as like experimentation, idea harvesting, basically placeholders, all those things, right? I'm sure these people hate Hollywood and SAG-AFTRA for their strikes over AI usage right now, right? I'm sure. So again, this didn't really do much to quell anything. I mean, you've got people supporting him, like Legacy Kill over here saying, Larian admits that they're using generative AI, now they're being attacked. The CEO's explanation has turned into WW3. AI is a slippery slope, and a lot of the internet has decided anyone even just touching AI is evil. Using it as just a tool does not matter in the eyes of many. And you'll see that in some of the upcoming tweets here. Wolfheart, RPG gaming YouTuber, says we've hired creatives for their talent, not for their ability to do what a machine suggests. And then he follows up by saying, I hate to break it to the internet, but I'm fairly certain that most, if not all, studios are doing this in some capacity. They're just not telling you. Larian is at least giving these tools to their devs as an aid if needed versus straight up replacing them, which I can guarantee all upcoming EA, Microsoft, Ubisoft, and Activision games will be replacing devs with. Welcome to 2025. Again, I think that that's a valid opinion to have on the situation. You have a studio that's saying, hey, if you guys need to use this, go ahead, you know. We're still going to be using real human created art and assets in our game. But if you would like to use the AI as the ability to, you know, get ideas or concepts or whatever, feel free to do so. I mean, that's just, you're creating like creativity and ingenuity. Let's say you're having a hard time conceptualizing something, but you generate an AI prompt and it gives you an idea for something else. Again, I'm not an artist. My daughter is very talented at art. She doesn't use much AI. She likes to draw things by hand. But I'm sure that there are times where she thinks, hey, you know what? This would be easier if I could just put in a Google prompt and it gives me the basis for what I'm looking for. There are ways that these can be helpful tools, even for people who are artists, right? Legendary Drop says, haha, Sven, what an effing gem. It's insane how one comment gets spun into an entirely different story. We use it for exploration, turns into the entire game is AI. And that's what's basically happened, is people are accusing him of the entire game becoming an AI asset flip, essentially. Writers really wanted to make this as controversial as possible. Nure over here, someone who's not foreign to having very hot, divisive takes. I don't know where that rumor, the rumor that Divinity will include AI-generated content came from. Yes, Larian uses generative AI during development like the industry has for years to explore ideas, expand internal presentations, develop concept art, and write placeholder text. The final game will contain no AI content. Sven Vinka has confirmed this himself. Again, this is one of those things. This should not be a controversy. Oh no, it's Alex saying, as much as I dislike what AI is doing to the gaming landscape as a whole, the insane replies going after that one dev who's been the most consumer first and honest is absolutely absurd. And that's what I remember about these guys over at Larian. These are guys that if there's a single studio that really cares about the condition of the video game industry and their customers, it's the guys over at Larian. Like, they're really picking the wrong target here. Destin over here saying there's a real misunderstanding around how AI can be used thoughtfully in the creative process. Sven outlines for a few concrete examples in this thread of how Larian integrates it into their workflow. This isn't about spamming ChatGPT to make an X-Men clone. Let's cut the BS. An artist needs to produce. It's, oh yeah, here's this tool. This is the deadline. You better meet it or it's your ass, no matter how kind they appear on the outside. Yeah, it's fair. And I think the thing that's lost on people, and this happens a lot, is you have this conversation where people are like, video games are art. Okay. Yes, it's an artistic medium like music, like literature, like painting, whatever. All artistic mediums, though, if they're your job, they have to see results and you have to produce and you have to make a product and that product has to sell and it has to be received well. And if none of those things, if all those things don't happen, you're not going to have a job. So your job as an artist is going to cease to exist and you're going to be at McDonald's putting the fries in the bag. Like, you just got to come to terms with that. So all of these purists who are simply saying you shouldn't be using AI at all, it's like, why? Okay, where's the line? Okay, so right now AI is bad, but when's the next thing that's going to be, you know, not artistic or non-human that you're going to be railing against? Eventually AI is going to be the thing that you think is okay, but then something else isn't okay. It's just, the line is ever moving, and I feel like these people just have no concept of how things are actually made, right? Legacy Killer also says, with all the hate Larian is receiving right now over their admitting to using generative AI, it's pretty funny that the game that just won Game of the Year, Expedition 33, fully admitted as well to it months ago, and there's been next to zero mention of it. Well, it gets mentioned, and we'll see this in a second. Gene Park, one of these journalists who I can't generally stand, pointing out here, Expedition 33 team freely admitted using AI and just won most awards ever in the Games Award history. But they didn't use AI to make the game. And again, I think that's the important distinction that people need to hold on to. They need to remember. But George Alexopoulos, somebody who I politically agree with, somebody who I'm on the same side as in most everything in life, has some of the worst takes ever about video games. Generally, his takes on video games, I look at and I'm like, what the hell did I just read, right? So he quote tweeted somebody talking about this. And remember, George Alexopoulos is an artist, a cartoonist. He says they sold tens of millions of copies of Baldur's Gate 3 and can't afford to pay a few more concept artists a decent living. F these guys. Again, completely not even paying attention to the fact that Sven said they're hiring more artists. He then followed it up by saying, when the Final Fantasy XII art team was developing concepts, the team took a trip to the ancient world of former Alexandria and did something called research. The result was rich and beautiful world called Ugh, guys, I'm going to show that I'm not a Final Fantasy guy. Ivalice, I don't know. I'm not even going to pretend that I know how to pronounce that. That can be felt with all 5 senses. That's how art is made. Okay, then there's this one here, and I'm hoping to ratio him at some point with my meme. But he says, Bubba, Expedition 33 used AI and it won all those awards. You know what then? It should have been disqualified. I never finished the game. I'm uninstalling now, just like Baldur's Gate 3, which also sucked. I don't want that inhuman dog shit polluting my precious PS5. The fact that he calls his PS5 precious. I'm like, dude, you don't even play on PC. And again, I'm just shitting on him. I don't care how you play your video games. Wouldn't this be akin to looking in a book, comic, or even TV shows to gain inspiration? I get that AI actually generates an image, but it's just pulling from these sources I listed. Yes. Again, people are inspired in different ways. But then you have the green hair, blue hair, they, them, she, hers, watermelon in the bio people saying, oh, okay, never mind. You know, when you got this meme of Divinity using generative AI, or sorry, Larian using generative AI to kill Divinity, and then saying, who killed Divinity? Divinity will not be killed. All these people whining and crying will have no effect on the success of this game. And I don't even care. I'm not even going to play the game, guys. I've never played a Divinity game in my life. I never played BG3. I don't care. This is like Tomb Raider for me. I'm just over here cataloging and documenting this because I find it cringe and retarded. Then you got this guy here saying, so Larian CEO decides that concept art is beneath contempt and can be done by AI. I'm frankly disappointed and disgusted that Sven would poison a passion project with this filth. I was excited for Divinity. Now I can't justify buying it. Another green hair. Waking up to both Larian Studios, and guys, this is the best one that I've seen so far. I should have saved this for very last, but this one's fantastic, okay? Waking up to both Larian Studios and the E33 team admitting to use of generative AI wasn't on my bingo card, and I'm so immeasurably disappointed. I am so tired of AI being shoved down my throat by every app and website. All right, if she just stopped right there. All right, whatever, I understand, I get it. Okay, I don't agree, but I get it. It's so harmful to the environment and black communities. White girl with green hair. Okay? And steals art from real people. This includes your cute little AI profile pictures and silly memes, by the way, posted by a woman who pays for Twitter Blue, which I also do, on a website platform that also pollutes the environment and makes heavy use of AI. Hey, honey, you see this little Grok? The little Grok logo up here by your post that says explain this post. Every time you post, AI can analyze it and explain it to people. You are the biggest hypocrite on the planet because you are on a platform that makes heavy use of AI and you're paying it. You're financially supporting the platform. All right? Absolute hypocrite. And I quote tweeted and said, it started off as AI steals jobs from real artists, and now it's black people in the environment are most affected. That's always the way it goes. And what she meant to say was poor people, but for some reason she said black people. That sounds kind of racist to me. I don't know. One guy here says, how we feeling, chat? I'm kind of conflicted, not going to lie. Why would they openly say it? Because it's a known fact. It's a known fact, guys. We've all known this for a long time, that everything uses AI. Grum's pointing out the director of Netflix Castlevania is slamming Larian's use of AI. If you're using generative AI for concept art, then yes, you did use AI-generated content in your game. What the hell makes you think visual artists don't deserve the same respect as actors and writers? Okay, take an image of Lara Croft from the game, use AI to make her look a little bit different, and then you hand draw something that was inspired by the AI art. Which one's art, which one's not? Like, this is the most retarded derivative conversation I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, at what point does it stop being you're still using an original? Like, it could be an apple. Whether you use a picture of a real apple or an AI apple, does your art, your video game that has an apple in it in a basket on a table, not, is it, this is like splitting hairs, guys. We're going so far off into the weeds, it's not even funny. This guy here, Jordan Mason, no idea who he is, but he's got pronouns in the bio. Looks like he's done a lot of work for Gizmodo and Polygon. Oh, there you go. Okay. It's the same as using Google and books for reference. Then why not effing use Google and books for references as artists have done for decades? Using AI to assist with generating ideas is like tracing a picture and saying I drew it with my pen so it counts as mine. Google has a... For God's sake, these guys are so retarded. This one here says, so E33 used AI in their art asset. Larian pushed for generative AI, and art creators has AI voice lines. I hate this. I hate that this is getting to be the norms in art and game industry. And you can, this opinion here, I'm fine with. I get it. I can understand this one. This one's not an unhinged opinion in my opinion, like in my personal opinion. But then you understand the kind of person this is, because they respond to their own post and say, doesn't take long for AI bro and racist gaming bros to find this post, so muting for my own mental wellness. Yeah, okay, so I gave you a little bit of grace there, and you proved yourself to be a complete lunatic. This guy here, Michael, environmental artist. Well, that's one way to kill the hype for a game. No, the developer didn't kill the hype for the game. The articles that came out framing the game as being basically an AI slop fest are the ones that killed the hype for the game. The hype for the game's not dead, okay? Oh, I've already seen this one. This is the Castlevania post. And then, of course, Legacy Killa pointing out that it's kind of hilarious, the non-reaction from the internet to Todd Howard admitting Bethesda is using AI versus the absolute meltdown happening with Larian essentially saying the same thing. Yeah, I didn't hear, this is from December 7th from Eurogamer, didn't hear a single thing about this, guys. Not a single thing about Todd Howard, Bethesda, any of the AI use over there. But for some weird reason, right now, this is the one. Now, here's one of the last ones, and I saved this one for last because this person is... They've already got me blocked on Twitter, and I know I've interacted with them in the past. I don't remember why there are so many of these freaks, but she does have she, her in the bio. LOL. As someone who's worked there for years, I'm not surprised. She's talking about Larian. Larian Studios leaning into generative AI despite internal pushback. Everyone at the company is more or less okay with the way we're using it. He's lying about people being okay with it. Says if you're forcing your employees to use generative AI, how okay are they really with the use of it? And to be honest, if they're okay with it, they 100% deserve the criticism. It has no place in our society, and especially not making any type of art. Another example of rich studios being cheap. Again, they just said they're hiring more artists. I know it's most likely not employees' fault. It's not the first time shitty management decisions are imposed on devs. Incredibly ironic that they're pushing generative AI after positioning themselves as the good studio in a sea of assholes. Again, couldn't even spell C properly. Using the plagiarism machine to save time and then admit that it hasn't even led to productivity gains would be hilarious if it wasn't so vile. And it just goes on and on and on. And the crazy part about it is, this person then, let me refresh this real quick. Oh yeah, Legendary Drops is like, makes claims and then locks replies, right? Because that's always the way it goes. They're always going to lock the comments. But the reason I found it interesting was this person has me blocked already, and their pinned post is from 2023. And I remember this now, guys. I remember this. So she says on this pinned post from 2 years ago, PSA for my incel stalkers. If you want to tag my employers to try and get me fired because I called out your bigotry, this is how they treated the last one who tried. And this is from Marsupial Gamer, a guy that I'm a mutual with on Twitter. Been following each other for a long time. He's a game dev. I'm just curious if Good Shepherd and or their owner, Devolver Digital, okay with their employer engaging in toxic cancel culture against a fellow game dev. The last thing I want to do is have to file a tortious interference lawsuit against Devolver in Texas. This post, he's quote tweeting, he shared a screenshot of, says, ha ha ha, I went to check his Twitch and he streamed the transphobic wizard game. So effing desperate to get attention and couldn't even get more than 18 views. Pathetic through and through, and believe me when I say we'll kick out every single man like you out of game dev, right? And then, of course, Good Shepherd Entertainment replied with this mother effer paid for Twitter, and Devolver Digital says, this dude can get effed. So again, this has been an ongoing trend with these people for a long time. The same people that seemingly are crying out about AI, like over here at Aftermath with Luke Plunkett. I don't think Larian's CEO understands how art is made. These same people are the same people that are on the other side of Gamergate, the other side of everything. And even as somebody like myself, who I'm not pro AI, I'm still a little hesitant and skeptical about its effectiveness, its value versus the damage it's doing. I mean, look at the RAM market and everything else. I'm just sitting back here laughing like these guys, 1 minute they're praising the game for having an orgy with a lizard. Like all these people were creaming themselves with the fact that they can have hot reptilian interracial sex. But the minute they hear that AI is being used, suddenly they're clutching their pearls. It's like, I think you guys have your priorities a little screwed up. But anyways, guys, I'm just gonna stop rambling because I think that this is probably kind of I think I've pretty much said everything I need to say. Transphobic wizard game? Yeah, did the clan release a game about the Grand Wizard or something? It's a glorified calculator, not used for NPC or enemies within the program, just assist the person, only bad on some areas like art. Yeah, And and AI art's never going to be as good as human-made art. Lefty's happy that DEI is replacing us. I'm happy AI is replacing them. I mean, it's kind of like it's the pendulum swinging, right? WOTC bots were fanning the flames after all their fall off. Apparently wasn't that pleasant. Yeah. The girl blocked everyone, even me. I didn't even remember her. I had no memory of her. It's not sex with a lizard, it's sex with a bear. No. Did you not watch the Divinity trailer? I'm talking about the Divinity trailer. There is a orgy going on at the bonfire where they fry the dude, and there's a woman riding a reptile dude. So that's in the Divinity trailer. Yeah, no, it's... And again, I don't have any interest in playing the game, but personally, it's like, these are the same people who were going on and on about how wonderful it was, and at the same time, they're gonna like clutch their pearls over a little bit of AI use. It's just the craziest thing. Although, guys, if you want to have a good old time, I'm going to show you guys something, and this is just for you. This isn't even for the video, okay? Yeah, she F's a lizard, exactly. This isn't even for the video. I came across this Googling the Divinity stuff. This is good old Johnny Boy's website, Fandom Pulse. If you want to have a good laugh, read this and then go through the comments. It is insane. But again, that's just for you guys to read and have some fun with. And some like non-programming tech is where to draw the line for AI can help crunch the numbers on programming. It's still a calculator and person used to correct anything. Yeah, so I have used AI to try to like find sources because I'm on community notes on Twitter and I try to be objective and unbiased as much as I can. And so other than finding links to articles directly myself, sometimes I'll go to Grok and say, hey, find me links that support this or that or whatever. And sometimes it'll bring me back information and it'll say it's correct and it's wrong. I mean, it is straight up wrong. And AI will then have to learn where it screwed up, right? You can't just trust it, implicitly. You have to fact check the fact checker if it's AI, because AI gets stuff wrong all the time because it's still learning, Well, yeah, the freaks were out before. The freaks were out in the open with their yuck, but DB Wild, I mean, Larian put it in the trailer. It's a 2-3 minute trailer and it's right there in your face. So it just is what it is. That being said, guys, I'm probably going to wrap it up because I'm starting to feel the medicine wearing off. Wagon Burner, you show up right at the end, man. It's all good. I'm glad you're here, though. There's always been reptilian people in the lore. Coupling between humans and them were fairly common. Yeah, but I don't want to see it, man. That's where, for me, I'm like, I personally don't care if games have sex and nudity and stuff in them. I don't seek out those kind of games. But I don't care that it's there. I just don't want to see it, man. I just don't want it in my face. If I don't want it, I don't want to see it. Someone having to press the AI until it admitted when it was trying to dodge. Dude, Hook, I've done that. I have done that with AI where I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you're straight up lying. You've got this wrong. And I've had to tell them, no, look at this. Like, you've got it wrong, man. Yeah. I'm moving to Mars. These fantasy romance fans are weird. My alien tentacle wife and I can freak about all those pervs. Oh, man. All right. But hey, guys, I appreciate all of you for hanging. I really do. And like I said, I'll probably, if you've already been here for the stream, I'm just going to clip that segment out and I'm going to upload it probably first thing in the morning. And, I hate to do that for my channel because I've always tried to just do like my own videos for uploads, but I know I'm going to be sick in the morning and I don't know how long it's going to last. Yeah, no, Empress, you're not wrong. The problem is one video game, especially one, I mean, the Divinity game isn't even like the worst of it. Let's be honest. I've seen worse things than that before breakfast in the morning, just scrolling my Twitter feed. It all just feeds into the same cycle. But, what are you going to do about it? For me, my biggest issue was I'm like, I didn't see any sort of warning. And I'm like, as a parent, I'd be like, okay, you can have your reptilian lizard sex fire Burning Man video game with, all the weird shit in the trailer all you want. just make sure you have a warning before people that have kids might see it, Yeah, Oblivion, I'm fairly certain I'm going to wake up sick in the morning. I've been fighting it for the last 3 hours, and I feel it coming, So, that being said, guys, I am going to, other than Diablo, the Diablo trailer was pretty tame, to be honest. I mean, for being gory, it was pretty tame. It wasn't that bad. All right, I'm going to hit the hay. I'm going to raid Empress, get her some viewers to start her stream with. And in the meantime, guys, I am going to try to keep getting videos out. I appreciate that some of you are still sticking around, even though it's been kind of hard to keep up with life the past few months. And I'm going to try to keep up with getting videos done on a semi-regular basis once every day or two. Even if they don't do very well in the algorithm, screw it, who cares? Basically, the way I'm treating this right now with my channel is I am starting from the ground up. I'm starting from ground zero because I took so much time off that I knew that it was going to have a negative effect in the algorithm. So every video that gets 100 views, 200 views, 1,000 views, I'm going to be okay with it because I have to accept that, YouTube is a grind. It's you're constantly chasing, viewership, and you're competing in the algorithm with other content creators making similar videos. So I can accept that and just kind of be like, hey, I'm not going to beat myself up about it. And I've got an awesome group of you guys here. And no, Wagon Burner, I don't want to just clip streams, dude. I don't want to do that. I accept that once in a while that might be the best thing I can do. Oh, dude, wise ass. I used to do shorts. I've actually had some shorts that did pretty well. It's straight up haven't had time. So if I can keep up with the uploads and convince myself to just keep with the grind and find time where I have it, shorts will come back also. Yeah, Christmas is next week. It's going to be fun. But hey, I'm going to make sure I stop talking in time, that I don't cut myself off, because otherwise Geek is going to laugh at me. You just saw my short. You saw that I am short. I'll have a new short in a couple of weeks when I get my new computer case and put my old rig into the new case. That'll be fun. Those do really well. People like computer parts. Go figure. All right, guys. Y'all have a great night. Hopefully I'll be back in a couple days. Hopefully I won't be sick. But I'll keep you guys updated on Discord and, of course, on the YouTube notifications and Twitter and all that. So, hey, good luck with that, wise ass. Later, Truth. Good night, you guys. Appreciate you all. I'm getting out of here.